Oh, we're getting started. Hang on there. Oh, yes. Come on. Baby, please. Let's get ready to do it. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a good day. A mighty, mighty, mighty good day.
How
All right, I gotta get started. I gotta get started right away. Because there's too much. There's always too much, but there's definitely too much today. And some of it is breaking news. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. The greatest live stream in the history of all live streams. It's House Sparks Megaworldwide. Thank you for being here on a lovely Thursday where we start a little bit later. I give you a little more free time today to get wound up and ready for the show. You know what I mean? Some people have said to me, Hal, we need a little more prep time. We need a little more, because I can't be ready for your magic at the same time every day. Some days I need a little bit of pause. I can't get my mojo working in time for the show. So can you just give me a little time? And I went, hey, Thursdays I do family FaceTime, and that's consistent. So I tell you what, on those days we bump it down an hour because family first, and you get some time to just get kind of, get comfortable, slip into something more comfortable before the show. Maybe? I don't know. All right. Couple of things, and then I'll get into clips, which I haven't even had a chance to peruse because of the breaking news. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh my heaven. Oh my Lord. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's just start off with, how do I even start, chat room? How do I even begin with Tina Peters? First of all, this, if you haven't heard, the clerk that stole election software, like, did one of the worst break-ins, one of the worst violations of just kind of the general security rules around elections, was sentenced to 9 years today. And we're going to take a look at that, because Tina Peters getting sentenced to 9 years, I got to tell you, the judge, what he said to her, you just have to see it. You fucking gotta. And then I've got a couple of notes about what he says, so you know what's up with that. And we're going to also see part of her argument, because fuck her. I laughed out loud listening to her give her list of mitigating factors why she shouldn't do time. I laughed out loud. I didn't mean to. I wasn't expecting to. But I laughed. I just burst out laughing in a way that frightened my cat. Let's be honest. That Chip almost had to leave the room. And I'll show you that in just a minute. But along with her, she is not only, obviously guilty of the crimes that she was tried for, but also she's part of the people that were like the columns that kept the temple of January 6th, kept the roof up, kept the place solid. Like she was one of the foundational people that carried this bullshit through that got Ashley Babbitt killed. And I know what you're thinking, fuck her. Right. Like a true FAFO victim. Sure. But you're welcome to believe that and everything. But clearly this deluded woman who ended up getting shot on Jan 6, part of the reason she was there was people like Tina Peters, who gave her this false sense of security about the nutty shit she believed. There are a lot of people in this country, Roseanne especially, that believe some nutty shit. Some really nutty shit. Nutty enough to make them do a podcast about whatever nutty shit they believe. Nutty enough to maybe lose a family member over an argument about flat earth. You know what I mean? That kind of fucking nutty. But most of them don't feel like I've got enough backup on this shit to storm a federal building, bust through a window when there is a armed guard with their weapon drawn, and assume I can make it through because the earth is flat and the bullets will just curve around me or some shit, right? Most of those people have there's a limit on how crazy, like, they're willing to act, even if they are crazy in general. Does that make sense to everybody? And then there are some people who, okay, another example would be Alex fucking Jones, that piece of shit. So Alex Jones, he has a lot of followers that might loosely believe in the crisis actor thing, might loosely believe in conspiracies about the government creating fucking false flags so they can take your guns, right? But it takes an Alex Jones to give them this feeling of like, oh, fuck, this guy understands me and gives me all this reasoning. Maybe I will travel across the country and threaten the parents of children who were just slaughtered and piss on the graves where they allege they buried them, right? There's got to be a step between being a crazy piece of shit and being an actively crazy piece of shit. And there are people who participate in ginning those people up and giving them what they feel like is cover, support, belief, and materially shift them from being just kind of a passive armchair fuckwad who's seen a zeitgeist too many times, or some rando internet documentary about how he didn't land on the moon. And the people who actually like get in their fucking car, put on a fucking diaper so they don't have to stop because the fucking UN shock troops might find them filling up at a gas station, and drive all the way across the country to the US Capitol to help, with a knife in their bag and fucking provisions so they can stab Nancy Pelosi and then live in her office on fucking Cliff Bars until God comes back and grants Donald Trump a second term, right? That step between being a fucking moron who believes a bunch of shit and being an active fucking moron in a vehicle with a gun or a knife or a plan to meet up with somebody that has a gun or a knife or a plan, there's a big fucking difference between those groups of people, right? In experience, because one affects the rest of us and the other one doesn't. We don't give a shit if somebody's at home just being a nutcase. Fucking knock yourself out, like I give a fuck. It's when you pick up a weapon and try to carry out your I'm going to prove the earth is flat by shooting at somebody, from I don't know, from a position of power to like somebody at NASA, whatever, like that kind of shit. There's a difference. And it's the Tina Peters of the world and the Mike Pillows of the world that make those people feel like, yes, someone hears me, someone believes in me, and I have to act on what they're saying. Tina Peters was one of those people. Now, Tina Peters just got sentenced to 9 fucking years. Let me show you something. This is Tina Peters talking to the judge about the mitigating circumstances why she should not go to prison, besides the fact that she's rich. Here we go. This made me laugh out loud.
I'm very taken back by how
She's very loud, sorry.
awful I've been depicted when I was just trying to do my job. The people expected me to do. When I look at the people that have spoken.
By the way, how awful I've been depicted by doing the job that people expected me to do. Okay, the fucking people did not expect you to steal fucking proprietary software for voting machines. Fuck you, lady. And what she's saying, by the way, I want to be very clear. She's saying how the judge has talked about her and how the prosecution has talked about her. Now, the judge didn't talk shit about her until she started acting like shit in court. And the prosecution's job is to talk shit about you. Tough.
Here today and asking for harsh sentences. I'm just appalled. I feel bad for them because I know I've often said God doesn't like people messing with his kids. And I believe I'm a child of God.
So what she's saying there is that fuck this lady, fucking hell. she's saying that the prosecution is fucking with a child of God, and God doesn't like it. Which is like, I mean, this is the like redneck, Karen, Colorado version of somebody cutting up a chicken and leaving it on your front porch and smearing it with blood so you feel cursed because it's bad juju. It's the same shit. It's just superstitious nonsense. And I'm sorry, if you're a child of God, everybody's a child of God. Shut the fuck up.
And I believe that it was important for someone to stand up, and I chose to do that. I have health problems that would not be treatable.
Okay, I don't know why this comes up on the screen. Figure 1, iPad extraction, evidence analysis. Archer Hall and analyze the contents of the iPad with the following goals. Were there any videos existing on the device that were recorded on February 7, 2022? Were any videos deleted from the device after? Was the last time the Apple operating system was updated or installed? Is there any evidence that the iPad acquisitions were brought to you? I don't know why this is popping up. This has to do with the case somehow, I guess?
In the Department of Corrections. First of all, I need a magnetic mattress. I've been on that since 1995.
Hold on. Wait, this is, oh yeah, okay, so she's so, fuck you. Fuck you, lady. I need a magnetic mattress. That's because the world is, the earth is flat, there is no gravity, and if I don't have a magnetic mattress, and, I've been vaccinated, and I was vaccinated with a north polarized version, and if I don't have a south polarized magnetic mattress, the Earth's polar field will electrical field will eject me into fucking space. So this is her note from her doctor. Advantage Integrative Medicine, and by the way, Advantage Integrative Medicine is, in terms of court, integrative medicine is known as hippy-dippy bullshit. I don't think it all is, but it ain't gonna help you in court, dum-dum. Back the fuck up. Okay, here she goes.
Mattress. I've been on that since 1995.
And it hasn't helped, apparently.
I was in 2 rear-end collisions in 84
Now you're just bragging.
and 2010. It was pretty severe. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit, and chronic fatigue as a result, and I had to stop working for the airlines in 1995.
Honorable Judge members, I've been Tina's personal physician since 2016. I'm writing this letter to ask for consideration of her health during sentencing. Tina suffers from chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. Didn't keep her from fucking hanging out at Mike Pillow's house. Hey, does Mike Pillow at his house, does he have magnetic mattresses when you were staying there? When you were on the fucking lam? I don't think so. Did you make him go out and get a fucking magnetic My Pillow?
I was up all night because I was in bed all day. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't control these symptoms until I got, believe it or not, a magnetic mattress on.
Let's see. I've also spent time with Tina outside the office in collaboration with some of the health-related products she promotes. It was during this time her son lost his life while serving in the military. Her husband was also released, passing away after a long struggle with Parkinson's disease. Police consider due to health conditions, Tina would be at high risk in a Department of Corrections facility. Her fragile mental and physical health would be compromised in this environment. With her past history of cancer coupled with her age, I would recommend she not be placed in a crowded environment. Fuck you. You don't think there are people with fucking cancer in prison, you dumbass? Secondly, I have also spent time with Tina outside the office in collaboration with some of the health-related products she promotes. I didn't realize she was she was part of like the fucking InfoWars lead-filled dick pill crowd.
Of which I still sleep on. I will not have that at the department.
During the time I have spent with Tina, I have found her to be a kind and sincere person. I appreciate your consideration of my concerns, and please contact my office if I may provide further information. Dr. Vinny Boombots.
Of corrections.
Yeah, so, needless to say, chat room, fuck her. All right, so let me, after that, fuck you with this. She's so gross. hold on. Then, yeah, here we go. Let's see. Tammy guys just the details here. So she, she's the one who famously like kicked a cop. And when they were arresting her, and she's like, I didn't do that. He was, and she absolutely fucking did. In the same way that like she put, maybe it's a Colorado thing. Boebert did the same fucking. I didn't give the staff the fucking finger. Yeah, you did. All right. So is this the? Yeah, here it is. This is so good. Okay, hold on.
The defense has, and Ms. Peters in particular, has remained quite defiant.
By the way, whoever this judge is has, like, you can tell she has just been tap dancing on his last nerve for months. Like the lead up to this and all their filings and all this shit. Like you can just tell they've just tried every angle, and she was just fucking like, she was just an asshole about everything. And he was just so like, okay, all right. Okay, all right. Okay.
Which is her right, but certainly not helpful for her lot today.
It's unhelpful. It's a lot unhelpful.
And in arguing why I should impose a particular sentence, she tells me about her ailments, her loss, her struggles in life. But in reality, for those of you who may have been here earlier this morning and seen some of the folks who've occupied that chair before Ms. Peters.
By the way, because what he's talking about is that there were other sentencing things that he had to do that day. It's like sentencing day in that fucking court. And so she's not his only defendant. And she's in there, eating up a bunch of fucking time. And he's had other people in there that are a fucking mess.
There could be not much in the way of a comparison in terms of the type of sympathy one would extend to Ms. Peters. Those folks didn't have 4 lawyers representing them. They didn't have a team of assistants helping them. They're not getting rides in private jets.
By the way, oh, fuck yeah. They're not getting rides in private jets. Anybody in the chat room know which private jet they're fucking talking about? Whose private jet specifically I think he's referencing? Mike fucking Pillow. That's who. That is a dig at Mike fucking Pillow. Oh, it's so good. Ah, God, this is so good. And fuck the Jan Sixers, too. Like, you should watch some of their sentencing. Those assholes, like, fucking, half of them, were still under, like, COVID restrictions in the DC jails and stuff, and they were still doing a lot of virtual shit. So just fucking pricks during the whole thing. And the judges are just, like, having it, like, tiptoe around them because of the politics of it. But Jesus.
All over the country. The people who sit in that chair suffer, generally speaking, immeasurable trauma in life, struggle mightily with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, mental health struggles, family loss. They come from broken homes.
And they go to jail, you dizzy bitch. Which is basically what he's saying. Yeah, some of them have good reasons, and they still have to go to jail because what they did was awful.
The cards they were dealt were never the cards that you were dealt, Ms. Peters. So when I hear you discuss your husband, who sadly passed away recently, your family struggles, and your son, who served our country admirably and made the ultimate sacrifice, I consider it. And I note, too, that he honored his oath to the country, something that is not lost on me when considering the circumstances under which he found himself.
Unlike you.
Your age, limited criminal history, and the like are certainly somewhat mitigating. Your ties to the community are what they are, but your reputation at this point is poor because of what...
Can I just enjoy this? Can I just fucking, can we just breathe it in? Is Mike Pillow next? She's there, by the way, because of shit that they got from Mike Pillow's phone. So if you want to go back to the moments that the chestnuts that grew into the mighty oak, the seed that grew into the mighty oak. That if you want to go back to those moments, Mike Pillow's phone being seized at Hardee's gave us this lovely gift today. Just saying.
What you've done here and after. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could.
Yeah, you know how he knows? Because she said so while the trial was going on, like an asshole.
You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen.
But real quick, can I let you know? Can I let you know on something? This isn't particular to Colorado courtrooms, but it's kind of the norm in a bunch of places. See that guy right there? See that bail? See this person right here? Notice that they're wearing the same bulletproof vest kind of collection of stuff. See their kind of matching outfit of this person and that person. There's also other ones on the other side. Okay. This is what I would call the bad news squad. This is the folks, if you're going to be found not guilty or they're going to sentence you to time served or fucking probation and you're not going to jail, those people aren't standing there. They really aren't. Because the chances of you flipping out after you get probation is really small. But if they're planning on throwing your dumb ass in jail today, they let the guards know so they can be prepared for whatever your reaction is going to be. Got it? Okay, just letting you know. So she and her attorneys, they know. They know. They're like, uh-oh. Like this, the sharks are starting to circle. So I just want you to know that, just in case you don't spot what's going on. It's obvious he's going to find her, he's going to sentence her to something. But the way she knows, she has to know that she's going to fucking jail today for a while is those folks. Even if they give you 30 days and you're expecting to get a year, those people will be around, but they don't stand that close. Just so you know. Just enjoy and know she knows. That's all I'm saying.
You don't have those histories of drug and alcohol abuse. There's no lifetime of trauma, not even close to the type.
You're just an asshole.
Type of mitigating circumstances I would see from many folks who sit in that chair. No, to the contrary, Ms. Peters, you are a privileged person.
Person's a good word. I would say person. Person's good. You're a privileged former president.
You are as privileged as they come. And you use that privilege to obtain power, a following, and fame. And to be sure, there's no doubt in my mind that it's exactly what you wanted, and it defies all sense of common sense to believe when you suggested to me a few moments ago that you didn't want this attention. No, you crave it, ma'am. And there is no one in this courtroom who would consider that to be anything other than the absolute truth.
Yeah, I mean, she literally fled from the police in her home state of Colorado on Mike Pillow's plane to go to his fucking Cyberama. Remember that shit? She was like a special guest when he was attacked with a tangerine. Remember that shit? She was one of his special guests.
But to get to the point of what it is that you did here, it's my impression distinctly that you never took your job of clerking particularly seriously. You didn't complete the certification. One scandal after another followed you in your time as the clerk.
Uh-huh.
And ultimately, it was a belief that the echo chamber in which you live couldn't be wrong, among other things, that led you to do what you did here.
Now, come on, let her. She believed me. How could you not?
This thought process, unfortunately, seems to consume so many in our country, regardless of race,
So many dumbasses, I would like to say. Can I, if I may?
gender, political affiliation, or the like, that what it is we hear and think can't possibly be wrong.
Yeah, I had a black Hebrew Israelite sitting over there the other day saying that he doesn't need a driver's license because he's Cherokee and Barack Obama is an East Indian. You're not special, lady.
There are many things in my mind that are crystal clear about this case. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. In your world,
Also, just these guys also, but on the table. That's a fresh box, baby. That is a fresh box. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Sorry.
it's all about you. But at bottom, this case was about your corrupt conduct and how no one is above the law. No one in this country has absolute power. Your position as a clerk and recorder, a constitutional position, does not provide you with a means by which to do your own investigation, to not listen to the judiciary, to not listen to the executives higher than you, to not listen to the legislature who sets the law as it may be. This is nonsense. Our system of government can't function when people in government think that somehow, some way, the power they've been given is absolute in all respects. And that's where you fell.
Yeah, she literally did. She literally believed that by being the clerk in that of the elections or whatever she, like her title was, that she could see all aspects and change all aspects of it. If she decided kind of that she wanted to change the nature of the election machines and that kind of stuff, she could just do it because she was in charge of it. At the time, it wasn't clear that she felt that way, but like apparently over the trial, like the contact and all the shit she talked about with fucking Pillow and all them, like she's a fucking moron.
You have no respect for the checks and balances of government. You have no respect for this court. You have no respect for law enforcement. And you do not have respect for your fellow colleagues when you were a clerk and recorder who weren't lockstep in your beliefs. Mm-hmm. Indeed, just weeks before trial, you were apparently doing what I mentioned earlier, that is, over at the clerk and recorder's office where you're not supposed to be, violating the protection order by speaking to employees of that entity with your camera crew in tow.
Yeah, by the way, right before the trial, apparently, she came over to do that, and there was this, everybody who worked there was a fucking witness in this. Even the ones that I guess would be witnesses for her, I suppose, she wasn't supposed to talk to anybody, because it's a fucking trial coming up. And she violated that with a camera crew that more than likely was paid for by Mike Pillow. By the way, I don't know if you can hear her sitting there, but basically there's a bunch of...
You have no qualms with violating the court's orders because you're innocent, because you didn't do anything wrong. You were just doing your job. You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous.
She's still shaking her fucking head. She's still shaking her fucking head. This is why, look, this is why this judge has fucking had it up to here and why he doesn't, he doesn't play with this dumbass. Watch her when he says the thing about the police. And again, it's on fucking video from there, and it's not even just the one we saw on like Twitter, like when they released the body cam footage. There's 3 other body cam footages that they have available to look at that are in the court record that was shown there as well, not just that one angle. So it's super fucking obvious, right? And she felt like she had the right to do it, to attack police officers, like her little mini Jan 6. And when he brings it up, watch her fucking head.
Innocent. Because you didn't do anything wrong. You were just doing your job. You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous.
Look at that. Fucking. All right. The reason she gets so much time is because of what he said earlier about being completely unrepentant. And she fucking did it again. Like, again, if you want to appeal and get off or whatever and, use something else, the footage of you shaking your head when he's giving his sentence shows that you're unrepentant about it. If you want to get paroled in 3 years instead of 6, and they go back to, and you sit there and they're looking at you like, okay, I'm not even sure I fucking believe you. Have you just gotten your head shake under control now?
It's on video. You have no problem lying to officers. It's happened multiple times.
It's doing it again. Fucking, she's such a bitch. It's fucking terrible. God damn it.
They're recorded conversations. It's just more lies. No objective person believes them. No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and the people fawning over you.
Oh, Mike Pillow gets another drop.
You abdicated your position as a servant to the Constitution, and you chose you over all else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are a charlatan, and you cannot help but lie as easy it is for you to breathe. You betrayed your oath for no one other than you. Oh. And this is what makes Miss Peters such a danger to our community. It's the position she held that has provided her the pulpit from which she can preach these lies. The undermining of our democratic process.
Oh my God.
The undermining of the belief and confidence in our election systems. It's not about questioning it. No one says you can't question, you can't ask. It's completely different. And if you don't understand that distinction, then there's nothing I can say or do here today that will change your mind.
You gotta let her go, Judge. It's not her fault. My dumbass is contagious. Judge, you can't do it, Judge. Judge, oh my God. It's not her fault. The ventilation system on my airplane has crack. It flows through the goddamn. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take the Lord's name in vain, but I mean, come on.
So the damage that is caused and continue to be caused is just as bad, if not worse, than the physical violence that this court sees on an all too regular basis. And it's particularly damaging when those words come from someone who holds a position of influence like you.
Uh-huh.
Every effort
Bitch.
to undermine the integrity of our elections and public's trust in our institutions has been made by you. You've done it from that lectern the voting public provided you with. Everything you've done has been done to retain control, influence. The damage is immeasurable. And every time it gets refuted, every time it's shown to be false, just another tale is weaved. So I'll begin by saying I've considered all of those purposes of staying of an execution of a sentence. I've mentioned all of them here generally in my comments already, and I find that a stay of any sentence I impose would be wholly unwarranted. All cases have a possibility of reversal on appeal, no doubt. I'm at peace with all of the decisions I've made here. If anything, I gave you and your counsel far too much leeway at times, but the rulings I made came after much consideration, incredible amounts of internal debate, and I trust in accordance with the applicable law. I consider the sentence here, in this case, what are available to me. Probation. Community corrections wasn't requested, but it wouldn't be an option in any event, and an incarcerative sentence to the Department of Corrections. Probation's focus is rehabilitation. That is, for folks who have minimal criminal histories, low LSI scores like you, Miss Peters, but where punishment isn't really on the table. It's about...
Oh, but it is on the table. It's to quote Frangela, it's what's for dinner. Hey, Tita Peters, what's for breakfast? Prison time. What's for lunch? Prison time.
Putting someone back in the community who's not at risk and giving them a chance to correct those things that brought them before me in the first place. Community corrections, which again isn't available, but nevertheless I'll mention, is another option that I could still order.
But I'm not going to, you asshole. Right. Basically what he wants to say.
It's much more stringent than probation, but it's not prison. And it's for folks who have even higher needs. Again, drug addicts, alcohol abusers, and the like. And prison is for those folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us. Whether it be by the pen or the sword or the word of the mouth. Prison is where folks go, where punishment is what we're focused on, because the crime committed is so significant that anything less would unduly mitigate the seriousness of the same.
Uh-huh. And it would encourage other people to try this shit again. Congratulations, dum-dum. You get to be made an example of, like a 15-year-old shoplifter.
I mentioned before there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Miss Peters, other than these are all the active.
Yeah, you're nuts, but you're not insane. You're crazy, but you're not mentally incompetent. You're just deluded by your own efforts, mental efforts. The same words dancing in your head over and over again.
Decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also more importantly, cost you greatly. Mr.
Yes.
Wood, all the members.
Mr. Wood. You said Wood. Do you know Tucker Carlson? Because,
I like wood.
you know what I mean, baby?
Deeper and longer.
Yeah,
Members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf. It's part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable. So
sorry, I'm very serious, and I'm trying to be serious about this, but fuck her. It's so good.
putting you on probation when you have zero needs that would be met by probation is the very definition of unduly depreciating the significance of what it is that you've done here. The harm that you've
Wood.
caused our community and continue to cause. Community corrections is the same. So prison is the only place that duly meets the purposes of sentencing in this matter.
Yeah. Just enjoy that. Let's just let that soak in. That's fun. By the way, if she's doing this kind of time, that's what Trump's got in his future. Just letting you know. This is the kind of shit, when Trump gets actually sentenced, this is what it's like. I've never had somebody sit in my fucking courtroom and say, and talk shit about the judge and everybody else. This dude is setting an example for Trump's sentencing in November.
And therefore the sentence and judgment of the court is as follows. As to counts 1 and 4, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the
She could have gotten 12 years.
judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1
Consecutive.
and 4.
That means 6 years in jail and change. 7, actually.
As it relates to the misdemeanor charges, count 8 is 120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County. Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2.
During which time you cannot vote, lady. Just saying. You can't. On probation, you can vote. On parole, you cannot. You've not finished your time. Just saying. Oh, I knocked my headphone out. Sorry. I got too excited. I got very excited.
2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit.
Why am I disconnected? Back up, silly.
Anything I missed?
Now I got it. Hold on. And we're good.
Anything else we need to address?
Judge, I think you missed a sentencing on count 6.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta give her 3 more years.
I'm sorry. Count 6 is criminal impersonation. That's also consecutive. That's 15
That's also consecutive.
months to the Department of Corrections.
And the cost
So it's 8.5 years total, plus the 6 months for a total of 9 years of incarceration.
and I think the only other thing is the cost of prosecution, Your Honor.
Is there an objection to the cost of prosecution, Mr. Case? We could set it for hearing if you need to.
Oh yeah, she's gotta pay. Oh, this is so nice. Think of this as an asshole tax. She's gotta pay for how much the court spent convicting her. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. Rocky Mountain High in Colorado.
Well,
If you need to have time to respond to it, I can give you that as well.
She was born a stupid asshole in her 57th year. Sentenced to 9 years in the big house.
yeah, we do, because we don't understand how that was calculated.
Very well. I'll give you 21
Well, I'll give you 21 days to learn how it works here, dum-dum.
days to file an objection to the cost of prosecution. You can consult that with the prosecutor. If there's an objection, we'll set it for a hearing. Nothing else. Mr. Case, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a motion previously filed for a stay, which I believe.
I just denied
Yeah, you just denied it, stupid.
that.
I gotta say, that might be, after all that might be my, sorry, 67th year, you're right. She was born a fucking asshole in her 67th year. Tried to flee in Mike Pillow's shitty plane. She lost her magnetic mattress and she's going to the cement condo. And even tried to tell him she was fucking insane. All right, this is, listen to the fucking gets up. We had a motion for a stay.
If there's an objection, we'll set it for a hearing. Nothing else.
Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Enjoy this, because this is the sweetest part of the whole fucking thing. This is good.
Mr. Case, anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a motion previously filed for a stay, which I believe.
I just denied that.
I just denied that. That's a big old no, pal. Bye-bye. See you later. You get nothing. San Francisco treat for you. And it's so good. It's and again, it is only because we really haven't watched the. By the way, can I show you something that I thought was very funny? This was very. This was funny because I saw people going, "What?" And then it here, I'll show you. This one right here. Or maybe some of you'll do it. New Pennsylvania presidential poll: Trump 59%, Harris 41%. That's funny. Come on, that's funny. That's I don't know, Daniel. That's funny. Like people were like, "Wait a sec, what?" And then they read the fine print. It's good. It's good. It's very good. All right. So where are we? Back to here. You guys. So lovely. I'd like to say for the record, fuck her and her stupid nonsense. And Trump and the rest of his idiotic followers get to enjoy a little bit of flop sweat today. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, okay. Hold on. This is yeah, okay. So everybody's flipping out about the filings that we went on. We read on, and everybody's going through now. And if you want to know how freaked out Trump is, I'll show you. Most of what Trump posts on Truth Sinkhole, beg your pardon, on Truth Sinkhole looks like this. Okay? It's like blah 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 blah, DJT, right? Or he reposts shit from Team Trump or videos, this kind of stuff. He just kind of, if he even bothers to write anything, and a lot of times this Donald Trump retruth is done by staff. Okay? It took him a little bit of time to have what's happening as far as the filing by Jack Smith before it started to sink in, okay? And now I want to show you what his Truth Social posts are starting to look like. See the shift? See this? See this dickhead trying to litigate this shit in public? Look at that. Notice a difference? Boy, is it like when the like stupid kind of rubber stamp bumper sticker kind of answers for shit. Russia doesn't work. And you know it's not going to work, and you're like, but technically speaking, you know, if you really look at it, there's like a thing, and it's like you really, that's what's happening here. Look at this fuck, his thumbs. First of all, anybody think he fucking typed this shit out? The hell out of here. He's telling staff to post these like long blathery shit. Yeah, no caps. Right? And everybody's like, it's too small to see. That's kind of my point. Like, you can go over there and look if you want to. But the point is, he's like, ah! You know what I mean? Like, if he knows he's cool, or he thinks he is, or he thinks people are buying his bullshit, he does these kind of things like, Lion Kamala has allowed illegal immigrants to flood the Arizona border like never before. I'll stop it on day one, DJT. Right? That's what he does. If he knows he's in deep shit, boom, 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 boom. They become like these little fucking chapters in his defense documents. Like I half think that he's like sitting in meetings and telling his like lawyers to craft his tweets for him so they can crank this shit out. Because some of these things like. And he'll do it. You'll see it sometimes when he does like chapter 2, chapter 3, page 2, page 3. You're like, that's what he's. This is fucking Cope City, motherfucker. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. Like, it's a nice day. Happy Thursday, everybody. By the way, I think tomorrow might be my first Friday in a long while where I'm just home and I can just do the show. Which is good because my girlfriend's mom is coming in tomorrow and I have a lot of cleaning to do tonight after the show to get ready for when she's coming to visit. And I've been assembling IKEA furniture all day. I have. This is true. A lot of it. I'm trying to get organized. And yeah. Oh, thank you for the super chat. And yeah. Yeah, I build my own shit. For a while I was like, I think I have a great idea for an HGTV show, which is just me assembling IKEA furniture for medium size celebrities. You know, when where they work, people who get their first TV show and they move out of a shitty, out of their parents' home or their shitty apartment into their own place, and they're not ready to like commit to, you know, expensive, you know, one of a kind beds or something. And I was like, I'll just come over and assemble their IKEA furniture because I'm damn good at it. I really am. I'll fuck up an Allen wrench. Come on now. I can make it happen. Shirtless? That's not a bad idea. Could be a thing. Covered in cat, wearing black pants covered in cat hair, going, "How you doing? What's up, ladies? All right." So, and I am wearing pants today. I know some were wondering. I am indeed. All right, now, let me see. I've got to dive into some of this clippage. There is a oh god. Shut up. Okay, hold on. Don't go yet, stupid. And let's see. This shit. Okay, I can do this in a second. Hold on. Don't go anywhere, stupid. And then, yeah, I've had enough of him. Hold on. I'm literally pulling clips because this Tina Peters shit happened as I would normally pull clips for the show. Or pull from the clips from the show that CSL gets. And oh God. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do that one. Yeah, well, let's see. Hold on. This is okay. Yeah, this is kind of generally in here.
Iran has just.
Shut up. Oh my God, what the fuck? All right.
Everybody wants to know my opinion.
Okay. Well, all right. Where do we start? I'm going to start with this because you guys deserve it. It's a happy Thursday, everybody. This is Roseanne, everybody. This is what I was just what the fucking about. This is the title of this video is Roseanne Barr endorses Biden. This is new, and my personal belief is that this is an attempt at comedy by a former comedian. And if you don't know what that looks like, I would say check out anything Rob Schneider does. That should do it. Okay, so here she is at home, and again, I don't know if this costume situation is meant to be funny or she just had some nip tuck done, and it's a good way to cover it and still do the show. That's a possibility. I'm throwing it out there. Let's jump in.
Or they don't, and I don't care because I'm giving it anyway. Here's the first thing I want to say.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Shit.
My Chanel turban fell off.
Wardrobe malfunction. At least it's not the titty.
But don't you love my French girl haircut? It's my
God,
French girl.
So heavy.
I know, but it's Chanel.
It's amazing.
I thought it looked
It looks like she wrapped a motorcycle helmet in a fucking towel.
cool because I have my ASAP Rocky barrettes and my Chanel headdress because Rihanna always wears something vintage of Chanel. Then I have my red lips and my red lips thing and my very...
And look at her son trying to humor her. Now, the irony of this is that he's crazier than she is. He's just kind of like, in the mid-70s, he would be a prime suspect in the disappearance of several girls in a beach community who all got in a white van. But because he's Roseanne's kid and she basically pays for his life, whatever the fuck that is, he's like, he seems comparatively sane next to her.
ASAP Rocky type coat because you know I love ASAP Rocky.
I do, and I love this.
He is the king of fashion. What?
I love this whole ensemble.
I know. I really put a lot of thinking into it. What with my individuality and such.
Yeah, there's one comment one day where someone's like, it wasn't even on our podcast; it was on somebody else's, and they're like,
it was in my head when I looked at you, and I got to pretend someone else said it because If I say what I'm thinking, Mom, you'll kick me out.
They were talking about you in the clip, and the guy's like, I love tuning into that wild, insane podcast. You have lipstick on your teeth.
Oh.
Just leave it, fuck it. And I was like, that's exactly what the Roseanne Barr podcast is. It's wild. We did Flat Earth last week. We did Patrick Byrne and election stuff. We got big guests coming up, and here we are, it's just you and I, and you look like
I love to
Karnak.
read the comment.
I see. So they ran out of cuckoo, so she's just gonna pick up the slack this week. Like we've had flat earthers and election deniers, and now we've got them all wrapped up in one formerly funny person.
That's when people get pissed that we put somebody on who doesn't agree with their opinion. How dare you? How dare you have an opinion other than mine?
I know. If you don't want other people's opinions, just don't listen to a podcast.
Yeah, then just go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Try that. Okay.
I like the ones that hang in when they don't agree.
Well, that's...
They're like, you know.
So is this like when Hassan Abi tells his audience to suck his dick and perma bans people or whatever? Is this an attempt at, like, I got so much audience, I don't even need some of you people? Is that the new online bullshit technique?
You mean
I
mature
think that's
people?
cool, huh?
You mean mature people that are open-minded and willing to change?
Well, that just want to hear another opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily.
Look, sorry, mature people who are open to change don't watch the Roseanne podcast. What are you talking about?
Change their mind, but actually, like, know their mind is like a screen door and ideas flow in and out.
Yeah,
That's how you stay conscious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. The goal, I think it was the Buddha who said, seek to make one's mind like a screen door on a submarine.
And using the Flat Earth episode as an example, is like Flat Earth Dave comes on. I'm not a Flat Earther. I don't believe in Flat Earth. But I got to tell you.
I don't know what.
We did a bit of that clip, and you were Flat Earth adjacent, you lazy fuck.
The hell I believe.
That's cool, but I'm just saying that show we did was fascinating from beginning to end.
He had
and
a lot of interesting things
he
to say.
did, and I was thinking, like, Flat Earth or not, what if there are places on the Earth or in the universe that we don't know about that can be explored? And that got me really excited. I was
there are. I don't know if you know this, but there are places on the Earth that, like the bottom of the ocean in a lot of places, or in the universe that we have not explored that we don't know about. We know generally about them, but we don't know what they smell like, for example, or if they have what kind of gravity they actually have, those kind of things. Like, there's something to do. You know what I mean? We can't go like. We can't just go been there, done that with the entire universe. This might shock you. Good Lord.
I always get sad when I read about like Alexander the Great or history. I'm like, it's all done. The whole world's mapped now. I can't go anywhere. Everything's owned by BlackRock, and it just bums me out. But after him,
What? Sorry, that's what happens when you read history? It's like, there's nowhere to explore. Hey, asshole. You do realize there's a lot of value to not being the first person someplace. You know that, right? It's much better to be in Italy right now, where you can go and have a coffee and enjoy the society, versus when the Romans were fighting people over it, and they were like, who lives here? I don't know, stab, stab.
I was like, wow, we could get on a boat and just go and like explore again. And I got that.
Yeah, that's the thing. His whole life, he's been exploring places, and now there's nothing left to explore. What? Who's bummed out that the Earth is mapped? Also, like, dude, you don't think there's some sketchy fucking places that, map or not, you have no idea what the fuck will happen when you go there? Again, if you go between Thailand and Cambodia, there are a couple of crossing points where neither country recognizes the land between them. These, like, it's about 1.5 miles, and there are these little, like, nomadic, like, lawless villages that nobody on Earth claims that are sketchy as fuck. Walk through there, dummy, and feel like, there's nothing left to learn. You'll learn. I tell you what, walk through those fucking places, wink at somebody sitting on one of the porches. You'll discover some things about yourself you never knew, my friend. Good Lord, what an asshole.
spirit that's really human and masculine that I don't get in my generation I'm born in. So even if I don't believe in flat Earth, it was still
Sorry, you were born into a generation where there's no masculinity? Hey, asshole. You know there's a whole masculine world out there when you're a grown man who doesn't live with his mom. What the fuck? Why is this our problem? You're shitting me, right? What? Oh, God, look. Hey, dummy. She's going to die eventually, and she's going to leave everything to you, whether you're there or not. Just go.
profoundly interesting, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed thinking
What if
about
there
it.
are continents beyond the ice wall?
What if?
What if?
Yeah, what if? I mean, hey, look, that is an outfit that I think most of us would agree that screams, what if there are continents beyond the ice wall? What if Snowpiercer is a documentary? What if gravity is actually a form of magnetism, and if you get the jab, you'll be north polarized and ejected into space?
I mean, it's a
Or if you only get the first dose, maybe you can fly in low Earth orbit.
cool thing to think about.
Absolutely, and even if not,
Yeah, it's a cool thing to think about.
even at the very least, if it's science fiction, it's like watching Dune or Lord of the Rings or
I like
Star Wars.
people
It's
that
cool
go,
to think
how
about.
dare you?
No. Hi, stupid. Real quick. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Dune and Lord of the Rings and all those things are crafted fiction by creative people. A psychotic myth by dumbasses who live their lives online or in zines in the 90s or in fucking handwritten diatribes before that does not equate to great works of fiction. It's actually shit works of fiction. It's just a lie these dickheads tell themselves because they can't handle reality. I'm just kidding with you. There's no sky and the moon is a projection.
In the book,
It's like the bat signal. There's somebody who's in charge of the moonlight.
I've never
That's why they call it a moonlight. Huh?
read, but somebody told me it says there's no such thing as blah blah. It's so funny.
I know, Eli.
I just imagine God laughing his butt off up there in heaven.
I do too. And my friends came to visit us, and the episode had aired, and he pulled me aside, and he's like, "You know the world's round, right, Eli?"
He said,
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, I just checking in. I don't know what you're out here and you're talking to people. He was all scared that I became a flat earther.
That's
That, you know why he's scared? Because you believe a bunch of other stupid shit. It's not out of the realm of possibility, dum-dum. You and your mom believe a bunch of ridiculous, fucked up shit. Your mom believes Democrats are baby eaters. And I don't mean like they metaphorically, actually. So why would it be fucking weird for you to believe the earth is flat? Why would it be inconceivable? Why is that too far?
my ex-boyfriend. He took me aside one night when we was all drunk and said,
So basically every night?
and he goes, I just need to know, you don't really believe there's a magic guy in the sky that notices everything we do and judges us and stuff, do ya?
Yes, I do.
I go, no, I don't believe that, but I believe there's a creator.
Yeah.
And he went, well, who created what? And when did it begin?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's amazing that he was like, okay, we're both drunk. I got to finally ask Roseanne this question. We got to deal with this, right? We was all drunk. This is a good time to ask you if you don't believe that God shit, do you?
Yeah. And so then we would argue about that forever.
I know, and I know it's Johnny we're talking about, and
Oh,
he's an atheist, and it was always fascinating to me because he would say things like, well, we don't know what we don't know. I'm like, exactly. So you can't, with using your logic, you can't say that God doesn't exist. And he, to his credit, whenever him and I got in those debates, he was very, very good at debate. He was very smart. He never said anything. He'd get a little emotional sometimes and get triggered, but overall, he was right. He said,
well, understand that he's a specific type of person, the kind of person that would date Roseanne. You do realize he's a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset, and is not indicative of other. Again, he's in the group of atheists who know and would have intercourse with Roseanne. I gotta say, that's a very small group of people. I don't even know how you would poll that group. I don't know what's the sample size?
but I don't know. So, but I'm choosing to believe there's
Well,
no God.
but he thinks the Bible is not the Word of God.
Well, I can understand
he's like,
that.
we just argued to the death of that one.
But that's okay.
Wait, so you killed him? Because obviously you're alive.
The Bible might not be the Word of God. You don't know. I mean, I know you're going to get mad at me. I'm just saying, theoretically, just like the Earth may be flat, we don't know.
No,
Nothing
I
wrong.
know.
Yeah, we do. We do know. We know it's not flat. We know it's not flat. And not in the same way that we know the Bible isn't the Word of God, depending on who translated it. Like, don't even get me started. Which version?
know that a lot of people don't think it could be. A lot of people have doubt that it is the Word of God, and I accept that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
for
that.
myself, I have no doubt that it is.
That's very
Well, then you have no faith. Because faith is about persistent belief beyond your own personal doubts. If you have no doubt, you pretend to have knowledge, and that is not faith. You silly, silly lady.
very cool.
But then I don't need to be sticking my nose in everybody else's business. If they don't know what I know, that's none of my damn business.
That's right.
I'm supposed to know what I know and act accordingly, and that ain't.
No, you're supposed to, well, if you know what you know, then it's a knowable thing, and therefore it would be a fact. Facts are knowable. Faith is not. Faith and knowledge are different. And if you have knowledge, I mean, that's why I don't know if you've read the actual Bible, but that's why it was considered the tree of knowledge. Do you understand that that's the premise of the fucking book itself, you dumbass? Why do I... What the fuck?
Ain't judging everybody who don't know.
Well said.
Number
Doesn't know.
one.
Well said. You said
I mean, that's how you can tell a real phony, because you know what they say in Buddhism, the Tao that can be spoken is not the Tao.
Yeah.
So the people that go around shooting their mouth off about speaking for God and such, they don't even know what they're talking about, or they...
Oh, gotcha. So rabbis, priests, and preachers? Cool. Look at that. Broken clock
They
moment.
wouldn't be speaking it. Instead, they'd be doing it.
that is
That's right. I'm doing it. That's right. I learned that from Johnny.
very true. Can you do me a favor and just take a sip of your champagne? You're getting your
Am I getting the smacky
the
mouth?
dry mouth. Yeah. Do you want me to get you water? Or just hold it. Bring the wine
What's
back.
water?
No, I think wine's probably better for this. Yeah.
Well,
leave it
we're
there.
having an in-depth
No,
cocktail
I
conversation.
just don't want the
I'll
fire
remember I did
marshal.
that.
I have it on tape. I might, if I can put that on. We got to start putting stuff on locals. I feel so bad. People pay for locals and we don't do shit, and I feel horrible about it. I apologize, but I do have you after your stand up. You got back to the Airbnb and your teeth are stuck.
I had no water for like 4 hours.
And I thought you were joking, but I'll send the video.
All right, I can't do anymore. I like. She's never gonna get to whatever the fuck this video is. 10 minutes long, and it's about like her joke endorsing Biden. She's never gonna get around to it, and I have no interest in being a fly on the wall between her and her dipshit kid. What? Like seriously, I deal with some of this stuff because she was on Tucker's fucking tour. She's going around and speaking at these things. So she's got some level of relevance in this. But if that was a room, if she and her son were in that room and I walked in, I'd be like, okay, nope. Goodbye. No. I'm out. I'm outie. All right, now. Trump went on Dave Ramsey's show. Now, Dave Ramsey alleges, I think during this actual thing, perhaps, that his show is not about politics. It's about life. It's about relationships. It's about love. It's about money. It's about investments and stuff and stuff. And just for the record, Dave Ramsey is to money what Dr. Phil is to psychiatry. It might have been something they used to do, but now they just like the sound of their own voice. And as someone who loves the sound of his own voice, I'm sympathetic. But at least I admit it. And Dave Ramsey had Trump on, and it says full interview. It says full interview, but it's 24 minutes long. Yeah. That's not a long interview. I'm going to go with, there's no fucking way he sat down with Dave Ramsey and just did 24 minutes. At the baseline, he did a half hour and they cut it down. This is not live, but it says full interview. See that? Full interview. Now, full interview to me means unedited. I know I'm being naive, but that's how it should be. If it's a full interview, right? That's unedited. If you it's a complete interview, which would encompass the parts that you want to show because that's the interview. Cool. Okay? That would be a complete interview. It's not the full interview. Full interview is everything that was said and done during the entire interview. Okay. I know I'm nitpicking, but it's kind of important. By the way, why does Dave Ramsey have a logo like he's about to announce a like the latest phone from his company?
This inflation thing's a big deal. So in
yeah, man.
the first 90 days, the strokes that you make to change the economy when you're elected, that's pretty dramatic.
I believe I'll be able to get energy down to 50% of what it is right now.
Well, this is some heavy fucking editing. I'm guessing this is the teaser.
Within a period of less than a year.
I know small businesses are where jobs come from. When you guys in government can take your hands off of small business, we're able to employ people and change things. So how can you help small businesses?
You have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, it's not going to work. It's the largest tax cuts in the history of our country.
Are they cutting this together to make him look like an asshole? Or is this... Because this isn't really... If I'm looking to learn something from this, that's not going to help. Also, yeah, somebody is sent in there. Do I have a... Yeah, I don't have the nut warning on this one. I'm sorry. That's terrible. I'm going to have... I got to go get it. Sorry. I got to be a professional, if I may. Documents. And, let's see, stills and assets. Where did I put this in? This will be... Oops and thing, I know I have it in here. Hold on. Where'd it go? I gotta search it. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Where is this guy? Right. I gotta put this in here. Sorry. My apologies, folks. I should have had this up earlier. And let's see, I got to put it up on the, even though it's very small. Yeah, let's see, put this on here. Hold on. Yeah. Even though it's very small, I'll put it up on the Instagram as well, because I just feel like, I feel bad if people aren't, if it's sprung on them, even though you can't really see it as much. So there might be a close-up, and then what? And then what? So, anyways, here we go. You've been warned. Yeah. All right, here we go.
country. That's why we became so successful.
You think,
it's funny.
You think we can do that again?
Yeah, I think we can go lower. If I don't turn my head at the exact night.
Oh my God. Fucking hell. I'm going to speak of this tonight, and I will never speak of it again, except in every fucking interview where I try to make it look like God chose me.
90-degree angle. If I was a little off, I'm not doing this very nice interview with you.
I hear you going back to Butler and finish the speech.
I am. I'm going to say.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what he's going to say.
Hey guys, Dave Ramsey here.
Hey, Dave Ramsey, how you doing?
With the Ramsey Show. If you don't.
Oh, good. Well, I'm Hal Sparks with Hal Sparks Megaworldwide, also known as the most Hal Sparks show that Hal Sparks can put together in the most Hal Sparks way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Patreon.com/Hal Sparks. Hal Sparks. Did I mention Hal Sparks? Thanks, Dave. Anyways, back to Dave Ramsey doing his best to try and not Hal Sparks because he would fail miserably.
You don't know what the Ramsey Show is? It's a show about life, about money, about relationships. It's not a show about politics. We specifically, over the years, have...
Okay, first of all, bullshit. Secondly, life, relationships, and money. I'm sorry. Is this how to, like, hire and pay a hooker? Is this... I don't understand this show.
Tried to remind you over and over again that what happens in your house is more important for your success than what happens in the White House. We also realize that this election...
Right. Yeah, but if Trump ends democracy as we know it, for example, it's going to affect my house.
Election is a really important time right now. The people are really...
I'm sorry, maybe, hey, asshole, welcome to politics, but every election is important. We live in a democracy, dickhead.
Really looking at what's happening. There's a real divisiveness in the air, a lot of anger in the air. So our team reached out.
Is there? Our team reached out to the most divisive, angry asshole we could find.
To Vice President Harris's team about the opportunity to sit down with her for a long-form interview, and reached out to...
A long-form interview? You mean 24 minutes and 50 seconds?
President Trump's team about the opportunity to sit down for a long-form interview with him.
And long-form means...
To talk about ideas, talk about what's going to happen, not what has happened, and not about...
Yeah, don't bring up the fucking election. I don't need to pay Dominion $1 million.
Personalities, and not about name-calling, because both sides are pretty good at all of that stuff. And
are they? Both sides?
the fact that I sit down with either one of these candidates is going to piss some of you off, and frankly, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's something I wanted to do, and I felt like it was something we needed to talk about. So I find...
Yeah, okay. I'm not pissed off that you sat down with him. I'm not surprised at all. Trump is your dude. Don't lie to everybody and act like you're both sidesing this and that you're some sort of neutral arbiter, dickhead. But also, lay off the fucking jump cuts.
I find myself sitting here in Trump Tower, getting ready to interview President Trump.
Oh, that explains why there's barely any books on the shelves. I was like, who has a big library like that with so few books? Ah, that's how I got you. Hey.
Trump for a few minutes. I think you're going to find this really interesting.
Do you really?
So President Trump, thanks for taking time to sit down with us.
Thank you.
Honored to be
Very little time.
with you. Good
Thank
to hang
you,
out
Dave.
with you. As you know, we do a show called The Ramsey Show and talk to regular folks every day, calling in most of the time.
And today we don't want to talk to a regular person. We want to talk to a second-generation rich kid asshole who was born with a silver spoon in his tuchus and never really had a want for anything and has managed somehow to take his father's business and bankrupt it 6 times. And how do you fuck up a casino? That was my... Sorry, I'll save that question for later.
Time with financial trouble, sometimes with financial victories, stuff we've taught them to do, the basic grandma's common sense stuff.
Right.
And that audience that's going to be watching this is, they're not concerned with a lot of things, but they are concerned with $8
They aren't?
eggs,
Right.
$5 gas, 7%
They should
interest
be.
rates, and a
$8 eggs and $5 gas? I thought you weren't going to talk about the past. I thought you were going to talk about now. I'm sorry, are you talking about the fucking quail egg omelet they sell at fucking Trump Tower that Trump pours ketchup all over?
House they can't afford with wages not going up as fast as house prices. This inflation thing's a big deal.
So I'm glad he's a neutral arbiter, and at least he's not reiterating a bunch of dipshit right-wing talking points about the economy itself. Granted, obviously, you know what? Probably it's my bad. I should be more sensitive. Obviously, the people in Trump Tower have been hit by inflation. You know, that's why they had to sell all the books or use them to build a fire, I guess.
So in the first 90 days, the strokes that you make to change the economy when you're elected are a big deal. What's the first things you're going to do on
Yeah, what's the first thing you're going to do? Well, we're going to drill, baby, drill.
that?
Well, in terms of inflation, you're right. And it's almost inflation over the economy, if you want to really know.
Hey, fuckwad. Inflation is part of the economy. What? And the fact that okay. Does Dave Ramsey respond with how do you separate inflation from the economy?
Because people are getting wiped out like never before. I think.
What the fuck are you nodding about? How do you separate inflation from the economy, dumb fuck?
It's the highest inflation we've ever had. They say it's the highest in 48 years. I think it's the highest ever.
No. We don't have the highest in 40 years. We had the highest in 40 years, and it went down. We don't currently. How are they going to talk about the past?
There's never been any mess like this, and it's...
Yes, there has. It's been worse. 2008 was worse. Fuck off.
Because of what they did with energy. Also, then they topped it with...
Look at that edit. Look at that. What the fuck did... Listen, watch. All right. It's one thing... Fuck this dude. It's one thing to, just let some of his shit slide. But watch this edit.
In any mess like this, and it's because of what they did with energy. Also, then they topped it
Energy. Also, that...
with spending with money, that trillions and trillions of dollars that they didn't need, that's being...
And again, what the fuck is Dave Ramsey nodding about? I think that should be the name of this video. What the fuck is Dave Ramsey nodding about? When we clip this, he's just like, yeah, sure, yeah. Excuse me, Dave. What the fuck is he talking about?
Then they topped it with spending with money, that trillions and trillions of dollars that they didn't need, that's being just wasted.
What again? What do you mean they topped it, motherfucker? You topped it. You signed off on the initial pandemic spending. What do you mean?
But the first thing you have to do is get the energy down. If you get the energy down, other things are going to follow. You want to get the interest rates down too. And interestingly, even interest rates are going to follow energy, because it's going to take that burden off the shoulders of the economy and off the shoulders of inflation itself.
I don't watch Dave Ramsey's show. I know of him. He's been around for a long time. Wrote a lot of jumpstart your finances books and shit like that. But him, you want to talk about something that's disqualifying in terms of someone who gives advice on anything? Him nodding his way through whatever the fuck this is disqualifying. Listen to this again. Listen to this fucking gibberish. And Rams, and this is even, by the way, this is the edited version. They're clearly slicing some shit out.
Down. If you get the energy down, other things are going to follow. You want to get the interest rates down too. And interestingly, even interest rates are going to follow energy, because it's going to take that burden off the shoulders of the economy and off the shoulders of inflation itself. And we are going to drill at a level that you haven't seen since, let's say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay, so we're going to drill less. That's your plan. 4 or 5 years ago, we were drilling less. 4 or 5 years ago, we were producing less oil. 4 or 5 years ago, we were producing less gas. So that's the solution. Let's be abundantly fucking clear. Dave Ramsey is nodding at Trump saying, we are going to drill less. We are going to produce less oil and gas. That's what he's saying because that's what fucking happened. Just to be clear, Dave Ramsey's nodding at that. And I was not aware until now that Dave Ramsey was a dumbass on a massive scale. Or such a pathetic suck up that he just lets dumbassery like this slide. Now, real quick, he says he takes calls from regular people. If a regular person called in, Donald from New York, and he didn't know who the fuck this guy was, and he said what he just said on the phone with Dave Ramsey would mock him incessantly for the rest of the show. Right? He would go, sir, clearly you don't know shit about the economy. What are you talking about?
But even more so, we would have been so dominant by this point. If you remember,
we are.
When you go back to the beginning of this really failed administration that we're in right now, what they did was they turned off the energy. They turned off everything that I had
So you
built.
turn back on the Keystone. You're going to turn back on the drill baby drill line and the...
It's drill baby.
I'll say, okay, first, the drill baby drill line, what does that mean? Okay, Keystone XL pipeline wasn't online then. It wouldn't have been online for a couple of years. The amount of oil in the available as far as its effect on the price of oil or gas would have been meaningless for years. So the idea that like it was on and we were making money from the oil that was in that pipeline is a lie. It wasn't working. It wasn't functional yet. And the idea, and it's Canadian oil to begin with.
In your acceptance speech at the convention.
Sure. It says it all. You know, I'd like to use another line, but there's no line that's better. And we're going to drill, baby, drill. But the fact...
Whoa. No. It's a stupid fucking line. It was dumb when Sarah Palin said it. It's even dumber now. What? Drill what? There are 9,000 unused leases by Exxon and Chevron and all these companies. And again, there's only two ways you can drill, baby, drill. Put a gun to their head and force them to do it, or give them subsidies to support the price as it goes down so that they don't lose profits. Because what's their incentive for lowering the price of the product that they get out of the earth that everybody needs? What's the incentive?
That they turned it off, and then the energy, if you look back at the very initial period of their administration, the numbers started going through the roof, the energy.
Yeah, because we were coming out of COVID. There was a giant pandemic. Nobody was going anywhere. There weren't even people to like refine the oil into gasoline because a lot of the plants were shut down. They couldn't get people back in there because there was a fucking pandemic rolling across the goddamn country. And then Americans started going back to work and doing shit faster than anybody else because our recovery was rock solid and we trusted our vaccines and we went back to work and we managed even through Delta and all that other stuff. The fuck?
Numbers. Inflation was good. And then they went back to Trump where they're trying to equal it. And it kept...
They went back to Trump where they're trying to equal it. Trying to equal it. They surpassed it.
It bad as opposed to horrific. And it's been really bad. And the energy has been very expensive, but nothing like it could have been. So they went back to Trump type things. But we would have been now 3 to 4 times more. We would have been dominating the entire world on energy. We have more than anybody else, as you've heard me say, but as you also know.
Right.
We have...
Sure, right. Yeah, we have more than anybody else. We have, yes, we're producing, but we also use more than anybody else. Hence the whole thing about electric cars. If we used less of it, we could sell more of it.
call it liquid gold. We have more liquid gold under our feet than anybody else. Actually, by far, we would have dominated. We would have been taking
Again, just garbage.
care of Europe. We would have been taking care
We would have been taking care of Europe.
of Asia. We would have been taking care, Anwar.
Again, what the fuck is he nodding about? And by the way, he's going to say, I got Anwar, and everybody wanted it. You didn't get it, dumbass. It wasn't online. This was not, he acts like Anwar was pumping fucking oil, and that's why prices were low. And it wasn't because nobody was fucking going anywhere, and the price of a barrel of oil was negative $36.
In Alaska is the biggest find anywhere in the world. It could be as big as Saudi Arabia. And I got it. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it. Nobody could get it. I got it.
You didn't get it.
It was done, ready to start.
Done, ready to start, isn't gotten it.
And when these people came in, they turned it off. They terminated it.
They turned it off? It wasn't on, motherfucker.
Nobody could believe it.
I don't know if people.
He ran on it. It wasn't the other people tried to get it, and it was like so unpopular. They were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
People realize that 10 to 15% of the entire economy is energy,
Right.
and it weaves its tentacles through everything else. So $5 gas
It
affects the
affects-
bread truck who's
yeah.
delivering the bread,
Yeah.
and that affects the cost of the bread then. And so,
Right. And real quick, Dave Ramsey. During COVID, oil was negative $36 a barrel at one point, and gas went down to $1.80 because no one was going anywhere. Bread, arguably enough, got more expensive. Why would that be? I think it might be because of the other 85 to 90% of the economy you're talking about.
yeah, getting that plentiful
Right.
changes everything.
So I have a little thing that I've been saying lately because I think it's easily achievable.
He's going to cut energy costs in half.
We pay very high energy costs, and especially now, but we're paying very, very high. I believe I'll be able to get energy down to 50%.
Yeah, that's insanity. Now, let me explain one of the reasons why Trump thinks this. Why would Trump believe this? Why would he think something he's going to do is going to cut the cost of oil? You're going to double oil production in a short period, in a couple of months. You're going to flood the market with oil and gas? Okay. Does anybody know where he gets that shit from? I'll show you. Money Watch. This is from June of this year, and this is fairly common. There's a bunch of this around, and I want you to know this, okay? I want you to see that this is one of the reasons why he thinks he's going to do it, because it's already happening. Here it is. The world could see a massive oil glut. Here's why. This is from June 2024. The world could have a glut of oil by the end of the decade because of rising production combined with declining demand as consumers and business switch to electric vehicles and renewable energy, and according to a new report from the International Energy Agency. The International Energy Agency said Wednesday that the world's total oil supply capacity is expected to rise about 114 million barrels a day by 2030, which the group said would amount to a staggering 8 million barrels a day beyond projected demand. This is in the next 6 years. They're going to be 8 billion beyond total world demand. Now, the other part, okay, the type of spare capacity hasn't been seen outside the COVID-19 lockdowns of 2020 when economies across the world shut down as governments sought to stop the spread of a deadly virus, the IEA said. The extra capacity could have significant consequences for oil markets, ranging from the U.S. to OPEC member nations such as Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, it added. This report's projections, based on the latest data, show a major supply surplus emerging this decade, suggesting that oil companies may want to make sure their business strategies and plans are prepared for changes taking place. No shit. there is such fucking goofy shit. China was supposed to require a bunch of here you go. China was supposed to be this big market for oil. That was going to be the big change. Oil, like China's growth was, the whole like China's going to eat our fucking lunch shit. Okay. Zero policy at all. I mean, granted, we're moving towards a more electric energy supply and all that kind of shit. But China was supposed to use a ton of oil because their economy was going to continue to grow and grow. And people were projecting that out for decades. That, oh my God, by 2050, they're all going to be blah, blah, blah. Well, that all fucking-peared. That was, turned out to be nonsense. And so they're not going to use anywhere near the oil that was expected. So people were ramping up their production, including the United States, with the idea that we're going to sell a bunch of oil to emerging markets, specifically Asia. And China being the biggest player in that. And then China not only decided that they're going to basically, hamstring their entire economy, but gutting it entirely might be the plan. The glut means an oversupply. HSBC lowered its oil price forecast for 2024 and 2025, saying that increased production by the OPEC Plus later this year will drive a supply glut in 2025 because they've been artificially holding it down. Thank you for that, Mark. Yes, you're watching House Sparks Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Where House Sparks can House Sparks like no one else House Sparks is. Okay. OPEC Plus plan to increase output by 180,000 barrels per day each month from December because they have been choking the economy on purpose to try and weight things in Trump's favor. But they can't do it anymore because the other OPEC Plus countries can't hold out. They can't afford not to sell the oil. So they, even if they get a cheaper price for it, they got to get it out on the market. And so they're not waiting anymore. And they've been bucking against it for a while now. There you go. Noting that OPEC Plus significant spare output and output growth in non-OPEC remains solid. However, demand growth is slowing in the midst of the energy transition. You can drill, baby, drill, or you can electric car, baby, electric car. And that's what's actually happening. What's actually happening is the electric car and the shift that it is having. Yes, the port strike is over as well. That, of course, was supposed to be a nightmare that lasted longer and didn't at all. But Trump's whole idea, we're going to drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, baby, drill, baby, drill. Great, you'll just contribute to the fucking glut. We're already going to be part of the oil glut next year. We will be overproducing because our usage of it is going down. And that's how you handle it. There are a lot of ways we can power cars and all kinds of shit without oil. We don't fucking run factories on it, no matter what this dickhead says. It's this weird thing about him, like, we can't use renewables to run our factories. Look, fuck. We use coal and natural gas and nuclear for a lot of these factories. We don't use fucking petroleum most of the time. It's weird.
50% of what it is right now within a period of less than a year.
Wow.
That's pretty
good. Wow, that sounds like bullshit.
Good. It's going to happen fast, okay? It's going to happen fast.
Because he knows there's going to be a glut next year, and he's counting for that to shave off like 30% of it.
What are you going to do to do that? What causes that?
They're going to...
Yeah, what causes it? What's the thing? What's the actual...
Drill. They're going to frack. They're going to do...
They are? Are they? They're going to drill and they're going to frack? Who's they? Why aren't they drilling and fracking now?
Things that they have tremendous additional...
So taking the rigs off. Taking the regulation gloves off.
It's going to take the regulations off. Yeah, like what? Like what? That they can drill close to fucking aquifers? What do you mean? You're going to take the regulations off? Yeah, let them loose. Cut these giant oil companies loose.
We have to. They put them back on. They put regulations back on that areas that have no environmental real meaning, they don't let them drill. They're taking leases away, government leases that you're hearing about.
No, he isn't. Don't like this is his bullshit Jedi mind trick that apparently Ramsey is completely intoxicated by. Good Lord. They're not taking fucking, they're not cutting, saying you can't go into like new areas. Those are places that have always been off limits.
I think we can get energy costs down to half of what they. If we do that,
that's pretty dramatic.
That's pretty dramatic. How are you going to do it? Another pandemic. I think we use a big biological weapon. We take a hint from the Chinese. We do our own Wuhan lab, and we release a pandemic across the world that basically seizes up the world economy or whatever. You'll see oil prices drop through the fucking floor. They'll be paying us to give it to us again.
Everything, all of those inflated prices are going to come down with it.
I think the other piece of that, and I know he was part of your administration, and you and I were talking before we turned the cameras on, that we have a mutual friend in Art Laffer.
Oh, he's
and
great.
I know he helped.
The Laffer curve, who, was it George Bush called it voodoo economics? Something DOO economics. Voodoo economics.
A little bit with the tax code in the last administration. And I personally have experienced the Laffer curve that lower taxes causes increased revenues to the federal government because it heats up the economy. And I'm a small business guy. When you lower my taxes, it doesn't mean I put it in my pocket. It means I hire people.
Right.
No, you don't. Bullshit. The only reason when you lower taxes that you hire people is if you get a tax break for hiring people. Fuck you, Dave Ramsey. This is nonsense. This is mythology. Show me where you expanded your organization because your taxes went down. Without it being, by the way, without it being caused directly, fuck this dude, by a tax break that companies get if they maintain their employees or hire new people.
And so talk about lowering taxes in the first year of your administration.
Yeah, you probably saw my plan, and I think we have something really good.
Your plan? Did you? What? He saw your plan, did he? What was your plan?
I was yesterday in North Carolina, which is great. That was the furniture capital of the world. And China then went in and did a number and took so much of that business, most of that business.
What? Wait, you don't mean IKEA, do you?
Talent. I used to go there to buy furniture for hotels and things.
Hickory, North Carolina.
Yep, in Hickory. I was in Hickory yesterday and made this.
And you stopped? Oh, right. Why'd you stop? Oh, because you used to buy furniture there, but now you buy them from the Chinese? Fuck you! What the fuck? I used to buy furniture from them. People used to buy, they used to be the furniture capital of the world. Then the Chinese moved in, and I started filling all my buildings with Chinese furniture. Eat shit. Oh my God, what a dick.
And we're going to bring it all back. What we're doing is this.
How? You won't bring it back now, you dumb motherfucker. You don't think they still make furniture there?
Sort of a two-phase. Number one, I took taxes from 39% to 21%. You know that better than anyone. It's the largest.
Why would he know that better than anyone? Certainly the people who crafted the actual legislation might, never mind.
Tax cuts in the history of our country. And that was great. That's why we became so successful.
No, it's why we entered a recession. It's why you blew a hole in the deficit. It's why you added a third to our national debt.
Do you think we can do that again?
Yeah, I think we can go lower. And I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm bringing it from 21 to 15, but you have to manufacture your product here.
Right. So real estate companies automatically make their stuff here because it's property. So they automatically get a 15%. any other company that sources their stuff from outside the country or any of that shit, that for 3, 4, maybe 5 years while they try to reshore shit will be paying a higher tax rate than his personal industry.
And then you pay 15%. And then I'm going to put tariffs on countries so they can't come in and steal our business.
So he's putting tariffs on American companies that make their shit overseas and then ship them into the country. That's what he's doing. He's tariffing American companies.
So that our businesses now can be competitive. Not that, I mean, China came in and just stole all our furniture.
First of all, your businesses can be competitive selling to the American people at they have to make their stuff in the United States, which will drive the price up. What's the price going to be comparative to the price that's come in? Like if you give 100% tariff, but you still have to, what the fuck do you think furniture is going to cost made in those places once they've been fully reshored? What do you think the cost, like how are you going to zero it out? What, a 200% tariff? You have to buy this stuff and only that stuff? It's dumb.
And many other industries, by the way, including steel. And I save steel by putting 50% and 100% tariffs on all of the steel that they were dumping. But we're going to do.
You mean the Obama steel tariffs that you kept on?
So in other words, this is a dream for you then. We're bringing the tax rate from 21. Remember, it was 39. And it was really 50 if you add state and local and all of the other things. So
because you got rid of salt?
We're going to bring it down from 20.
Because you got rid of salt so that you could pretend to give a tax break and then take it from the states because you wanted to take more from the big blue states that provide all the tax dollars and give it to fucking red states?
21 to 15. I got it down to 21, which everyone said was impossible and got it approved by Congress. So it's, it's there. And we're going to bring that down to 15. But you have
for corporations, for companies, not for individuals. That one expires.
Have to make your product in the United States.
Yeah. And we do see federal revenues go up when the taxes go down because the economy goes.
You saw it with me.
We saw it with Reagan, too.
You saw it with Reagan.
No, you didn't.
So at 39%, and then...
You saw it with Clinton. But that's not how he did it.
Down to 21%, you would think would do half or you'd do much less. In the first full year, we did much more revenue in the United States than we did at 39. In other words, we took in much more money.
Which is how you solve the deficit. I mean, Bill Clinton almost balanced the budget with the exact same principle.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. He almost balanced it. You didn't do it. You didn't get anywhere near it. He managed to, because he wasn't trying this bullshit manipulation of the tax code for his own buddies. He actually had a fairer approach to the whole thing. But he's a Democrat. Fuck.
That's true. He did. And cost cutting.
Yeah.
We have plenty of cost cutting to do, too, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's
In fact, I'm going to ask Elon, who's a great
It's Leon to you.
guy, but he's a pretty good
That was a great
cost-cutter.
interview.
Yeah, that was a great interview.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
That was some interview. We did
That was some interview. You
pretty big numbers. I hear we did like 900 million people or something. That was a pretty good, but he's a great guy. And
Yes, and you have the same amount of hair you had when you were 20
he gave me a full endorsement
in your nose.
and all of that. But he's got a good sense on that. There's tremendous cost cutting that we can do and affect nothing. We're not going to affect anybody. We're not going to hurt anybody. We have to save Social Security and keep it good and solid. I don't want to be raising ages or anything. I don't want to do. They're putting migrants into Social Security. When they get finished, they are. If she got a.
Okay, first of all, if you put migrants in, because they're all military-aged males, apparently, those people are paying into Social Security. They would make up for the gap in the workforce that's not feeding into Social Security, where the aging baby boomers, are taking more than there are replacement workers to feed into Social Security. That was the argument. So if they're putting migrants in to do it, then those migrants are actually helping keep it solvent. Also, if they're putting them into it and they don't get permanent status or they don't become citizens, they don't get it. Never mind the fact that this is bullshit.
Elected, this country is going bust. If she got elected, we're going back to 1929 depression.
That's what he said about Biden. What's the stock market like right now? I mean, obviously, now, in all fairness, he said we, and he might not mean the country. He might mean his dumbass family, which is true. If when Harris wins, Trump and his entire clan are going back to 1929 economics. Yes, that seems plausible.
It would be a disaster for Medicare, Social Security. They're allowing millions and millions of people to come in. You can't use these schools anymore.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, nobody goes to school. I mean, my kid's going to school and he's doing great. He's got a quiz in math next week, and he's doing terrific. He's doing pre-algebra stuff. But he can't. I mean, I hope he does. They have a quiz scheduled, but obviously, the migrants are in the way, and he's like, they even work it in. Like, if 7 migrants come in and 5 times each, and they are all deported, how many of the 7 are still in the country? It's a trick question.
Quality of life in this country has gone so bad because of what they've done.
So the quality of life in America has eaten shit because there are too many brown people that have been let into the country, because brown takes away, even if you can afford to go to a football game and stuff, they're there. They're there, right? They're around. And your quality of life goes down. You just feel it,
One of the things that our viewers know about us, we work with tens of thousands of small business people. And so coaching them, 54% of the gross domestic product is businesses 500 people or less.
Yeah.
Almost.
Right. Trump's company is 500 people or less. It's like 10 fucking people. But nobody, like Trump wouldn't call himself a fucking small business.
Everyone in America, over half, almost 60% of the people work for.
Also, by the way, Trump has 1,500 LLCs where he's the single, signer on it that has, just $1 million fucking account that some asshole overseas is putting money into. And that qualifies as a business with revenue on paper, according to this guy. Same people, 1,500 businesses. Small businesses, because there's only 3 signatories, and a lot of times there's only fucking 1.
Yeah. A small business. And I know small businesses are where jobs come from, not from government. So politicians don't create jobs, small businesses do.
Right, but politicians create the environment where those businesses can fucking thrive. They don't come up with the idea. This fucking lame-ass sovereign citizen libertarian horseshit can suck it. This is so fucking lame. I am so bored with this talking point. It comes up all the government doesn't create jobs, businesses create jobs. Yeah, we know, asshole. The government doesn't create water. No, but they fucking make sure it's clean when you drink it. And every aspect of this, just anti-regulation horseshit from pricks like this. The cable that goes to this microphone has been tested multiple times and has to pass regulations so that when you touch the microphone with your hand, it doesn't fucking electrocute you. Every light bulb in that place has regulations around them where they don't burst and catch fire. There's a regulation that makes sure that you don't put lithium-ion batteries in your fucking bag that go into the plane, because if something happens and they bang against each other, it can start a fire in the belly of the plane and take it out of the fucking sky. That's a regulation. And that regulation, which annoys the shit out of him and he wants it gotten rid of, is why modern planes get where they're going. It's 50 regulations in why you can drink the fucking coffee that's in that cup, or the fucking, I don't know, Diet Coke that's in his. So the can isn't fucking rusty. So there's not, there's not benzene in the fucking sparkling water they put in the drink to give it its fizz. Good Lord.
Small business
kind of
is big
pisses
business.
people like me off when when the politicians say they're ones making the jobs. We're the ones making the jobs. But when
that
you
is
guys
right.
when you guys in government
Hold on. He's claiming he created jobs. What are you talking about? Trump always says we created more jobs. We created all these jobs. These are my jobs. I created them. They're just bounce back jobs. We created those jobs. You pissed at him? Did you just say you're pissed at him? You fucking coward.
can take your hands off of small business and allow us to do our thing, we're able to employ people and change things. So how can you help small businesses?
By not helping. I think that's the key.
Well, the best way is just letting them do what they have to do, but we still have to give them a playing field. If we don't give them a level playing field, they will die.
What a bunch of commie bullshit.
And that's what happened before. That's why China came in. That's why they came in, and they came in at a level like nobody's ever seen. And we.
All right. What are you talking about? The Chinese came in, and they came in at a level that no one's ever seen before.
Did nothing about it. So the word.
Did nothing about it. Motherfucker, ask all these. All right. Go on YouTube and look up fucking drop shipping. How to make money as a drop shipper. The fucking millionaires that were printed during the drop shipping like craze that's been going on. Well, what's a drop shipper? It's somebody who finds a product that's already made in China, lists it on Amazon, and when you buy it, it goes right through their account, and they take, the majority of the cost of it. Who's fucking they? Our trade deficit with China is because of wholesale, not retail, you dumb motherfucker.
Tariff to me is a very beautiful word because it can save our country, truly. And yet, I think because of graft, because of a lot of consulting payments and other things that given by other countries, we have so much fighting with politicians on using it. I saved our...
sorry. Graft? So foreign countries are bribing our politicians. You mean like Egypt?
Our steel industries by putting tariffs on steel that China came in and dumped. And you know what they do? They dump and dump.
Hold on. What happened?
With politicians on using it. I saved our steel industries by putting tariffs on steel that China came in and dumped.
Also, Dave Ramsey, what the fuck are you nodding about? Think he's the first person to put on steel tariffs? Hey, guess where the steel for Trump Tower came from?
And you know what they do? They dump and dump.
By the way, by graft, he means bribes.
And dump. Everybody goes out of business. Then they buy those businesses very cheap, and then they raise the prices.
Right. This is Trump's golf course methodology.
The higher than they ever were. That's one of the many benefits that they have if they want to do it. But by putting tariffs on, as an example, in the furniture business in
Hold on. Somebody's shouting at me. Hold on. What is this? Hal, I'm a vet. I go to the administration in Melrose Park weekly, and there's some vets still a bit disillusioned over this freak. Next month, I'm hoping to be able to re-up subscription. No worries, Casey. Just glad to have you here, man. Or lady. I don't know, Casey. It's hard to tell. It's a bendable name.
in North Carolina. It was so vibrant, and they stole our business. And they charge us, if you wanted to build a furniture place, if you want to sell your furniture in China, they won't take it. But if you want to build a plant in China to make furniture in China using their labor, they open it. We're doing the same thing. But
what? Okay. First of all, they make so much shit, they're awash in it. They have full-on deflation in China because they rip everybody off. They create again, the difference between like a Louis Vuitton bag that's a knockoff versus the real thing is that the knockoffs are made in the same Louis Vuitton factory that's in China. They just do it after closing. 6 o'clock, new shift comes in. They start making the same shit off brand, and they sell the knockoffs all over the fucking world. So it's a game. But a lot of, if you're not making something that's that brand heavy, like furniture, for example, you can just build a factory over there. And if they do it, you kind of don't give a shit because most people are going to come in and buy your stuff in North Carolina from the place. They didn't ask Nobody made them ship their shit overseas. And if you're talking about like fine furniture, that's not what they make in China. They're making the knockoffs. They're making the particle board furniture.
A lot of people like, oh, well, we don't want to have tariffs. The country was at...
Is that how they talk? Oh, well, we don't want to have tariffs. A lot of people say it like that. They do. Yeah. Fucking toddlers.
The richest point in its history in the 1890s. It was all tariffs. If you looked at...
oh, my God. All right. We're going back to the economy of the 1890s. Is that the plan now? It's almost 2025, and this dumb motherfucker thinks we need to like rebuild our economy based on pre-industrial standards.
William McKinley is an example. He was a big tariff president. They had committees.
Jesus Christ, dude. We had wood boats
that were put in charge of what to do with the money. We were taking in so much money.
Yeah, because we were an impoverished pre-industrial country like everybody else.
And McKinley would say, why should we let other people come in and steal our factories and steal our workers and steal our jobs? And why shouldn't we benefit? And
did he? He did. Did he come up with fucking Make America Great Again, too?
He tariffed the other countries. And we made so much, and then they went to the income tax system later on.
Wait till this asshole finds out about the Boston Tea Party.
But they would actually they had a blue ribbon committee. Our country was so rich, they didn't know what to do with the money. And
they had some idea.
This blue ribbon committee was set up to determine how can we spend all of this money. And
what? First, blue ribbon committee? You mean on infrastructure? What the fuck? That's because they didn't have a tax policy yet, stupid. They didn't even have a way to gather the taxes.
They took it in through tariffs. But we can turn...
That, by the way, is the noise of Dave Ramsey wanting to say bullshit if it was a normal person on the telephone calling into his show, but he can't because he's sucking Trump's balls. And so that's the noise that when you're pelicaning Trump's fucking nuts right in front of him and he says something that you normally would go, that's a bunch of fucking nonsense. You go, like that.
Turn our country around, make it strong, and then guard.
Yes, we're going to turn our country around and take it back to 1890, the good old days. You know, when syphilis was an aspirational disease.
Started with tariffs.
Yeah. Let's change gears for a second. My wife.
Yes, let's change gears for a second because if I let you go down this, basically, we need to downshift because your vehicle is careening out of control.
Sharon and I were in Scotland 2 weeks ago, and we played a bunch of different courses there, including Turnberry.
Good.
Which arguably, according to the golf guys I was playing with, is the nicest course in the UK right
Arguably?
now. And certainly the halfway house, the
Oh,
lighthouse out
isn't
there.
that good?
Turnberry's amazing.
Yeah.
But what I came away with, not only is the golf course great, just to give you a huge compliment,
Thank you.
you know that, but the staff and the team, the excellence in the hotel, in the restaurants, in the golf shop, everybody we dealt with. Talk about what it's like to work for Donald
Sorry, are they assholes at other golf courses?
Trump. How do you hire leaders and put people in place that do that? Because I know you're obviously not there personally managing that, but you put a culture in place in your
Yeah, it's the culture.
organization, and
It's not Scotland.
that applies to the administration as well.
Maybe it's, I don't know. Here, hey, Dave, here's a good idea. Go to his fucking West Palm Beach dump, the one where the guy supposedly went pew-pew at him a couple weeks ago. Go golf there. Is it just as good? Don't think so. I mean, by the way, it gets real good if they know you're Dave Ramsey. If they don't know you're Dave Ramsey, I'm sure there's a huge drop-off. But go to his shithole in West Palm Beach, south of the airport, with all the jet fuel dropping all over it, near the strip club and the gun shop and the fucking jail, and golf there, and talk to the golfers there, and then talk to some of the staff and go, maybe it's not the culture of Trump Properties, maybe it's just fucking Scots are nice.
Well, hiring people that are quality leaders.
Well, my son, Eric, is very much involved, and he runs a lot of it. And Don helps out a lot.
Yeah, he keeps everybody medicated.
And Ivanka, to a lesser extent, she's a great mother and everything. She did a fantastic job in the
Yeah, she's a great mother and everything. She did a fantastic job. You know how normal people talk about their relatives.
administration. All she wanted to do is get people jobs. And she'd go around and see Exxon and see Walmart.
Yeah, you just go and see them. Oh, there's an Exxon. There's a Walmart.
She wanted jobs for people. It's really pretty amazing. She could have had a very glamorous job, and
What?
she would have done well. But Eric's done a great job.
Let me real quick. She didn't, by any chance, when she was talking to these big companies like Walmart, also meet with their buyers and get some of the family products, especially hers, into some of their stores. She didn't have secondary meetings with all those businesses that maybe, ended up with her and Jared having deals after they left office that benefited them personally on a financial level. Now she was just there to get jobs for people.
And
Strangers.
I did a similar type of job when I was doing it. Now I'm doing a thing called running for president, so I don't
I'm doing a thing called I'm running for
get.
president.
little bit
But we
consuming.
rebuilt Turnberry. Turnberry was considered one of the greatest courses in the world
And then you rebuilt it, and it's not anymore?
because the land is so incredible, right? With the
I see. So it was already a place. Let me guess. You bought a dying golf course that has a great view, and you nouveau reached the fucking clubhouse, and you got a bunch of fucking Russians running around there dumping money into the place for a few years to artificially prop it up.
ocean, and that ninth hole you're hitting over the ocean. How good a golfer are you?
13.
All right, that's
Not
okay.
great. I'm
That's
just learning.
actually
I've only
good.
been playing 5 years. I'm just learning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Enjoyed you and Bryson's 50.
Wasn't that
That was
great?
fun. That was a great video.
That one did well in
did.
terms of the
It
ratings.
did. And he can
That was like that was the biggest pile of bullshit where they were like trying to hit under 50 or some shit like that. We watched some of that with Boston Bryant.
swing a club.
And he can swing, and he's a great guy. And he is very long, very straight.
I understood there would be no cock talk tonight.
And you know what? He's a great putter.
Yeah.
One of the
He-
best putters. He's one of the
world
best
class.
putters in the world.
Yeah, he totally is. I was gonna say.
That was quite an exciting thing. We got it down to 50.
You actually pulled one hole off. I watched it.
Yeah, well,
All
yeah.
rode on you. You carried one
Even
in.
more than one hole, if you want to. But
If you want to know the truth, we didn't show it because it didn't happen.
we did well. We did
Yeah,
well.
you did. It was very,
You almost killed him in the golf cart, dummy.
very fun. So, what leadership qualities, when Eric's hiring, did you teach him to look for?
Well,
Well, I didn't really teach him anything. Gary Busey was his real father, and
I like the recommendation business, but what I like best is taking people that are in the company and moving them up. You take a
it's just. Did he learn anything from anyone who isn't a mobster? His entire business model is built on this like cartoon idea of what mobs do. If you got somebody in there and they know how shit works, you move them up the chain, it's all based on loyalty and being inside the circle, and you test people out and you see what they'll put up with, and if you get a chick in there and she can take the ribbing, then maybe you move her up where she works in some of the rooms. You know what I'm saying?
a waitress as an example.
Motherfucker. Just. He wants to bring up the waitress that he asked about no tax on tips and pretend that she's going to get a fucking
And
raise.
she becomes the head of the restaurant. You say, because you know if certain people are good.
Yeah, you do. You know if certain people are good.
And when they work for you already, it's better than recommendation. But if you don't do that, or if you can't do that for some reason, you really need strong references, and then
Jesus Christ. Hire from within, and if you can't find somebody to hire from within, get good references. Brilliant. Oh my God. Art of the schlemiel. Really? What's your stock advice? Buy low, sell high? Jesus Christ.
and they have to enjoy their job. If they don't enjoy their job, they're not going to be very good at it.
So I ended up at a table, Ronnie Barrett.
Yeah.
Barrett,
Right.
Barrett 50 cal, is a friend of ours, and I ended up at a table with him at an NRA convention with Eric.
Yeah, this show isn't about politics, but he happens to be in an NRA convention. Right, just to watch Russian money go by.
Eric and Donald. Got to spend some time with both of them.
Shocker, really? The NRA that, is literally a conduit for Russian money, and you just happen to be there, and just Eric and Don just happen to be there?
And you're right, they're impressive. How do you raise great kids? What
You let the women folk do it.
you do?
So
The grandkids are turning out. The granddaughter killed it.
We have. Oh, how good
at the
was
convention.
she? Yeah.
Wow.
She's a great golfer,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
She's
Oh my God. Your granddaughter's great. She's great, by the way. She's a great golfer.
She's a great speaker, too.
she was good.
Well, yeah, but we don't. Yeah, Dave, simmer. We don't need women speaking, but it's nice if they can look pretty and be on the golf course. Eye candy.
She was so beautiful person in every way. She took over that whole.
Look at that edit. What the fuck did they take out? What did he say in the edit? Like, in 10 years, I'd be dating her.
Good. She was so beautiful person in every way. She took over that whole.
Oh, yeah. They definitely cut out something fucked up. She's beautiful in every way. If I was 10 years younger and she was 10 years younger, fuck.
Republican convention. And Kai, our beautiful Kai. So.
What's your parenting
The
style?
one thing I always
What's your parenting style? The one thing I say is no drinking, no drugs, no cigarettes, and then everything else is just women's work.
told my kids, no drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes.
He says this all the time. This is his go-to. It's fucking muscle memory at this point. That's it. That's your parenting style. So you're basically the Nancy Reagan of parenting. Just say no. Brilliant. What about the other areas of life? I don't know. Relationships, friendships.
Now, in my day, there were no drugs. There was
Yeah, there was definitely the fuck. What? When has there never been drugs? When was this? The 1890s? Fuck are you talking about? You mean the 60s and 70s? What? Jesus Christ, man. This dude was, his heyday was the 70s and 80s. There were no drugs. Get the fuck out of here. I guess everybody forgot to tell everybody at Studio 54.
alcohol and cigarettes and
Yeah, it was just alcohol and cigarettes. Fucking standing around on a street corner like a fucking gin drunk in the 30s. What?
and I had a brother that went through a lot with alcohol and he taught me a lot. He really taught me a lot. And my brother Fred, and he had a problem with alcohol, to put it mildly. And he would always, and he was quite a bit older than me, and he'd been through it. And he would say, no alcohol, I never want to see you drink, very strong. And
And he continued to drink and he died from it.
and he'd also say no cigarettes, but because, cigarettes are like,
Yeah. Cigarettes are like, cigarettes, right? They're cigarettes. That's, it's cigarettes. That's the thing right now, cigarettes. Obviously, you were for, going against, big tobacco back in the day, I'm sure. Yes? The regulations that slowed cigarette sales in the United States. You were for those regulations? Jesus.
you don't need, if you don't smoke, if you don't drink,
So you're saying that 4 out of 5 doctors don't prefer Chesterfields?
you have no problem with staying off.
I don't know. Okay, I don't smoke, But it's not like my life has been devoid of problems. What are you talking about?
Off it. When you do drink, and it's very hard to stay off it. I mean, I've seen.
Is it? So basically, it's just a one, like most. So anybody who drinks is gonna be a drunk. The Trump edition.
Very strong people that cannot get off, but the way you get off is
again a subset of a subset of a subset. I think what it is, and forgive me for saying this, but just could it be, and I'm just spitballing here, could it be that some people drink and they have a problem and then they get off of it and they're doing okay, and then they spend some time with you and they're like, fuck, I need a drink. Maybe it's you. maybe that doesn't happen to everybody. Maybe just the drunks who hang out with you are like, fuck, I thought I had this lick, but Jesus Christ, this guy, I've never wanted a brandy so much in my fucking life. I said, shut the fuck up. I wish I was so drunk I couldn't hear.
If you never start.
Or smell.
If you never start, I never had a glass of alcohol in my life. I've never had a
Never had a glass. I drank straight from the bottle.
glass of alcohol, if you can believe it. I think largely because of my brother. I think if I did, I probably would have a problem, personality type, right? But I never had a...
Oh, you mean like the drugs, right? Yeah, the way you snort shit? Oh, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, look at fast food, loose women, right? That's the idea. Everything's you have an addictive personality. Orange spray tans, also you're lying.
I have no longing for it. I have friends that are in the wagon, as they say, and
they do say that, yeah.
I watch them watching trays go by. The tray is going by. Oh, it's like they have, it's a thing that they can't get over.
Oh, so they're addicted to trays, are they? It's the tray. Fucking, it's not the glass of alcohol. It's the fucking tray, Donnie. They bring it by on the fucking tray. It makes it look so goddamn good. That's fucking, Could it be the tits? I'm just saying, it is a Trump property. You don't go anywhere else. And you hire based on very limited physical attributes. So could it possibly be that your creepy friends who are just like you are going, and you think they're looking at the glass of alcohol because you're over whoever it is, because everything has to be new, or you're not interested.
Over with. Same with smoking. It's tough. I've seen guys just grab somebody's cigarette. They haven't had one in a long time, and to them it's like the greatest sensation. If you've never,
I've seen people grab someone else's cigarette, and to them it's like the greatest sensation ever. He's talking about something he saw in a movie.
Never smoked. You just don't have that problem. So.
Yeah, I don't have that problem grabbing cigarettes from other people.
I tell people for their children, no drugs, no alcohol, and no cigarettes.
They obviously work really, really hard. How'd you teach them work ethic?
All right, this is the other thing. Like, Ramsey's like, yeah, that's not what I'm talking about, dum-dum.
They have to like what they do.
I see. So they have to like whatever job you gave them in the family business. And if they like something else, they're Tiffany.
They don't like what they do. They do. My kids like what they do.
Do they? What, Eric really likes pleading the fifth 500 times?
And I would say genetically, I'm a believer in genetics. I like...
You mean racism?
Kid, I'm good at doing certain things and...
Uh-huh. Yeah. So if Eric gets busted for sexual assault, it's just in the genes?
Racehorses, like two slow racehorses, don't produce a Kentucky Derby winner, right?
Okay, bigot. Your kids are not that great. Your kids are just barnacles on their grandpa's business. I gotta say, between you and Ivanka, I guess, who's the slower pony?
No, that's not the way it is. But you have to have an ability at something. And if you don't have the ability, don't do it. But
if you don't have the ability, don't do it. It's so, it's so simple and yet So complex, motherfucker.
Importantly, do something you like, whether it's your parents or not. You know, your parents want you to go into a business, or they want you to go into a store with them if they have a store.
Yeah, that's what happens. Go into a store with them if they have a store.
I would say that you have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, it's not going to work.
Follow your dreams, kids. Unless, you know, your dream is to do something that doesn't make a lot of money, and then do something, go to your parents' store.
I've never seen it. If you don't want to get up in the morning and go to work. Now, a lot of people say, with all the people that come after you, do you really love getting up in the morning? You understand that, right? I'm attacked at left and right. But I do, because we make so much progress. We're doing great on the campaign, as you probably see. We're leading in the campaign now and doing
no.
Well, we beat Biden, and we were up so far on him, and then they said, that's like a fight.
No, it's not like a fight. If anything, it's more like wrestling, where there's a tag team. That's why both sides have a vice president.
We're in a fight, and they changed the fighter in the middle of the right.
Well, ideologically, it would be a fight. Why would that be hard? Do your principles get exhausted? Is that what happened? Like, if you're fighting principle to principle, ethic to ethic, program to program, and then they swap out somebody with basically the same programs and ethics as the person that was in there, and what? Oh, that's why you're unable to adapt, which is why you and JD Pants keep talking about how Harris has been in office for 3.5 years and she should have done all these things, because that was the attack you were going to use on Biden for everything, and you just switched names because you're fucking lazy.
In the middle of the fight, they changed the fighter, and now we're beating her very badly. I'd be so interesting to see her in your show, because I don't believe that she would be able to answer any questions on what you discuss.
Yeah.
You mean like you've been doing? Like just totally egging it?
Better than anybody else.
Well, I'm happy to have her if she'd come.
I'm sure she would be. I'm sure she'd love to come. Yeah. She wouldn't come.
So I hear you're going back to Butler and finish the speech.
She is an actual vice president, sitting vice president right now.
I am. I'm going to say, as I was saying.
Yeah. Right? So when that happened and you get in the car, I know I saw a clip the other day that Melania was watching on television. Yeah. So she saw the shot.
After.
Saw you dodge, saw you go down,
No, she didn't. She saw after. She watched it like everybody else did after it happened.
Get up.
Yeah.
And how fast were you able to get on the phone and talk to her?
Well, I know she was calling, and, you know, I was a little tough to take a phone call with blood pouring down your ear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, speakerphone doesn't work?
People don't know the ear is the bloodiest part. If you get hit in the ear, it bleeds, because there was a lot.
Hey, asshole. No. No, it isn't. Head wounds bleed anyways. Your ear is not fucking special. It was not arterial spray, fuckhead. You didn't get a liver shot and your abdomen was bleeding black blood, you dum-dum.
A lot of blood.
A lot of ketchup.
But no, I spoke to her by the time I got to the hospital. I spoken to her, and she was sort of watching it. She had it held off for a couple of minutes, and then somebody called her.
Edit. Look at that edit. What the fuck they cut out there? Hey, Dave. After you finish answering what the fuck are you nodding at when he's talking out his ass on the economy and taxes, maybe tell me what the fuck you were cutting out in the full interview.
She had it held off for a couple of minutes, and then somebody called her. And
Jesus Christ. Just like, whatever it was, it was bad. Talk about bad surgery.
Said, he's okay, he's okay. She said, what do you mean he's okay? What does that mean? She had no idea. And then she went back and pressed it.
Oh, English is her 7th language, you know.
Caught up.
She came here on a genius visa, so okay is a word that's just below her, I guess.
No, it was tough for her, tough for my son, too. He came out, somebody had said, your father just got hit. And
okay, you have 3 sons. We know you're talking about Barron from context clues. and maybe that part was edited out. Maybe you were just referring to it, but you do have multiple sons. Just saying.
He came in.
Notice he'll never say my daughter. He'll say Ivanka because he doesn't want people to think that he's talking to Tiffany.
And he was very, very riled up.
He was riled up?
Yeah.
It's a tough thing.
What do you mean, yeah? What do you mean riled up?
That was a tough day, and I don't.
Riled up? What is he? Was he yelling at his mother or you? Was he throwing shit? What do you mean riled up?
Recommend it for anybody. I got very lucky, or maybe more than luck.
Yeah, if you don't turn.
Yeah, it was probably more than luck. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a lot less than luck for Corey Comparator, I guess.
Your head and start talking about the immigration chart at the precise moment.
If
it's
I
a
don't
problem.
turn.
Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? If the guy had gotten a flat tire on his way over there, Corey Comparator would still be alive.
My head at the exact 90-degree angle. If I was a
Bullshit. That's like saying if the guy's gun had some mud in the barrel, the bullet wouldn't have gotten as close to me.
little off, one way or the other, it's I'm not.
Bullshit. It would have passed through your hair.
Not doing this very nice.
This is like I always think it's funny. Like they go like when somebody comes in, they always tell these stories in true crime stuff, or even if you watch like Cops or any of that shit. They have somebody who's shot and they're like, if it was just an inch to the left, it would have pierced his aorta and he would have died. He was very lucky. Like yeah, but if it was an inch to the right, it would have, I guess, gone through his lung and not really hit anything at all. I mean, if it had been 4 inches to the left, it would have gone through his armpit and, because he was waving. Like, at a certain point, I get that you're trying to tell me that it could have been serious.
Interview with you.
If it was an inch, and again, it was a piece of the fucking teleprompter.
I wouldn't be around to do this interview.
So when you were in the White House for 4 years, you were talking about love.
He wasn't there for 4 years. He was president for 4 years, but he was golfing a lot.
Loving your work earlier. I have the privilege of loving my work. That's why I still work.
You do?
That's why I still do it. I don't need to, obviously, anymore, just like you don't need to. What
Yeah, obviously.
was the most rewarding thing in the 4 years that you were there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dave. Prepare to be disappointed.
For you.
So
The most, I mean, this is a crucial question. In those 4 years, what was it?
my whole thing is make America great again. All right, that's why I do it, and we did it. Then COVID came. We did a really good job on that. So it was always about.
Wow, that's a lot of slicing. Apparently, this was a long, rambly answer. Look at the fucking cuts on this shit. What was the most rewarding thing? And he was thinking about like a moment. Well, sitting there with my wife and I'm president and I just signed a piece of legislation that made me very proud, right? That's what he's asked. That's what Ramsey is asking for. And what he got was a weird diatribe.
Did it. Then COVID came. We did a really good job on that. So it was always about making it great again. I had the country going just prior to COVID coming in at a level that nobody had ever seen. And even if you go all 4 years.
Also, no. We entered a recession before the effects of COVID actually happened because of his monetary policy.
It was so good that even with that terrible interruption that just destroyed the world, we had the greatest.
The world is still here, by the way.
4 years.
It's also not on fire.
Economy was so great. The job numbers were the best ever, et cetera. And I think just that concept of what I had done.
Just the performance.
Yeah. But individual things, getting the tax cuts approved, biggest tax cuts in history.
No. Not bigger than, I think the Reagan tax cuts were actually bigger. Never mind the per capita aspect of it and who it affected and the fact that half of it was temporary, but the ones for corporations were permanent. Fuck you.
Biggest regulation cuts in the history of our country.
Couldn't name one. Like what kind of regulation cuts you talking about? What are you talking about? like making sure that the regulations that keep forever chemicals from ending up in fucking our rivers and streams. What regulations? Making sure kids' pajamas aren't flammable. Did you get rid of that one?
Rebuilding the military. We did a job.
Yeah, the cupboards were bare.
And I rebuilt the whole military. And then you see a lot of that military being given to Afghanistan stupidly because they left the country. I mean, and now you see them parading it back and forth.
No, you don't.
That was, I think,
no, you didn't.
the most embarrassing moment.
Yeah, we get it. He's asking you what your proudest moment, essentially, and you're like, yeah, fucking Afghanistan. That was embarrassing.
In the history of our country, what they did. But there were a lot of individual achievements that we had. The creation of Space Force, Space Force.
Which you named it. It was already a subsection of the Air Force.
Is now dominating space. And when I came.
It is? Sorry, do we have like robot and astronaut warriors flying through? It's dominating space. Okay. We're dominating space. I'm glad to hear it. With our flying saucers.
There was no Space Force. The first time since Air Force, 78 years, maybe 80 years by now. And we are dominating space now. And we wouldn't be. We were being.
Again, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, first of all, we were already dominating space. We still are. What do you think they're doing? Do you think they shot down the shitty, Chinese space station and made it have a decaying orbit?
We were in third place by far, and now we're way in first place. And that's very important. Militarily, it's very important.
President Trump, thanks for taking time.
That's his idiotic ending.
Thank you very much.
Your team told us you got a speech here in a few minutes.
I do.
We were still able to squeeze this in, and I appreciate your time. Appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit.
It's a great honor. I've watched you for many years. I shouldn't
I've learned nothing.
say that but I can say it from both of us. I watched you for many years and a real pro. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
What? Why have you watched him for many years? And by the way, when he says he's watched him for many years, he knows he's famous and has books and is believed to be smart about the economy and about money and shit like that. And it's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, we forgot about Trump taking credit for the ass force. Yeah. Hold on.
New branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Not since the ass force.
Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Also, what kind of weird fucking handshake? Never mind. I'm going to get all caught up in that dreck. Now, let's see. This is can I do one more for you really short? I mean, I know I went long, but that ate a lot of time. Is it all right? You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. Melania was on Sean Hannity's show, and she got a segment and a half. Yeah. Apparently, she got interviewed by this guy, who I believe is a thumb. But he's like one of those where somebody draws a face on a thumb and puts a little wig on it, a little suit, and they do like that. It's charming. So this is Sean Hannity, who's normally in the cleanup business. Remember, Tucker was where you would go to do your kind of mea culpa apology, and Sean Hannity is the guy that would help you clean up the mess. But he got an interview with Fox News, and apparently, I want to say like the New York Times or whatever was offered an interview with her, but it would cost them $250,000. Like their fucking People magazine, and they were like, nah, pass, thanks. It was CNN, that's what it was. CNN said pass. I mean, I guarantee they did this everywhere they went. For anybody, any takers, I mean, shit, if you can get them, right? And it's an election season, she puts out a book, and then she charges for interviews. Cha-ching! I mean, that Melania book should just be the real art of the deal. What's up? All right, here we go.
Now, yesterday, I sat down with former First Lady Melania Trump,
who has the most bizarre, opaque, dark fucked up book.
Discuss her new memoir called Melania. We spoke about the
Oh, that's what it's called. I couldn't. I'm sorry. I thought Melania. I couldn't. I was trying to figure out how you actually pronounce that. Melania. It sounds like a disease you get. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, but your child has acute Melania. Well, that's good. She'll meet a nice rich guy.
the upcoming election, the importance of this race, and the law.
Hold on. Sneeze. I'm all right. I'm allergic to this dipshit.
Lawfare that is being used against her husband, her family.
Her husband? Dude, can you not get a fucking sentence out? The fuck is wrong? Sean, doesn't Sean Hannity talk for a living? Why is this hard?
Here's part one of that interview. Take a look.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't hard sell it, Hannity. Watch it, how bored he is. Here's the first part of that. Take a look.
Used against her husband, her family. Here's part one of that interview. Take a look.
By the way, this is pre-recorded, so he will be vaping during this.
Madam First Lady, it's great to see you again.
Nice
Madam First Lady.
to see you too.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes, you remember me. I'm client number 3.
You don't love media interviews, and I don't blame you, because I watch a lot of
but don't worry, I'm not media. I'm opinion.
media too, and I've been part of it for 35 years.
And this is going to be very short because Dave Ramsey is going to be doing a very heavily edited interview with your husband in a little bit. And I know you don't want to be here when he or Dave Ramsey is in the building.
We are grateful that you're here. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
We're very grateful that you're here in New York where you live.
So, with 34 days away from an election, I've covered politics my whole life.
And you still haven't learned it.
It's a long, hard, tough, grueling process, as you know. What's this process like for you?
As you said, it's a long process.
Yes, it is long. That's what I think we've all come away with. It is long, unlike Donald's pecker.
And you just need to be in it and enjoy it as much as you can.
Sure. Yeah. By in it, you do realize you haven't been at any of his campaign events, like at all. You're not in it. You're not in it at all. You're the opposite of in it.
Also, you need to be very focused.
Yes, on not being in it.
And take it day by day. Some surprises come as well, so it.
This is great. I don't get the feeling you're talking about something you have no connection to and you're not really interested. Yes. Why does every answer sound like a book report for a book you've only seen the dust jacket
It's
of?
very important that you prepare for those surprises.
Yes, always prepare for things you can't prepare for. Oh, I see. So you know that, he was, fuck us. You must fuck us. What? I'm not gonna. What? I'm not. No, thank you. But you must fuck us. You must fuck us. It's one of my favorite jokes in the Pentaverate. She's not involved at all, and you can't prepare for surprises unless, of course, you know the quote unquote it's going to be a surprise to his followers. It's not a surprise that he's cheated on you or whatever, and it's not a surprise that Jack Smith has the goods on him, but you can prepare for the surprise coming out, even though it's not a surprise to you. Right.
What's election day and election night like for you? I'm sure.
I mean, 50-50, right?
If I was on the ballot, I would imagine I'd probably be a wreck.
Yes, and imagine if you were married to the person on the ballot. I'm kidding, Sean. You don't believe women should be president.
No.
Well, as I explained in my book, I'm very calm. That's maybe my.
It's called not. You have to understand. I feel about the election like I feel about Christmas. Fuck the Christmas and fuck the election. I stay very calm because I make my money no matter what happens, Sean.
My personality, and because.
Cold, calculated, almost like a praying the mantis. Yes.
Because I know on the election day, it's all in the people's hands.
Yeah.
People decide what they want for this country.
Yes, technically that is true. In this country, the voters do decide. You might be onto something. I didn't really think about it that way until always.
And it will be again this year on November 5th.
Yeah.
You're right. Yes, that's true. Hey, it's going to be this year on November 5th. Shit, I was not expecting to learn something from this interview. This is magic. My goodness. Is this in the book? So in America, every 4 years, election happen. And sometimes it go good, and sometimes husband throw ketchup.
Here we go again, your third run. You know, one of the most...
No, it's not her third run. She's his wife, and only just barely.
Most interesting stories to me is when, and I've known your husband for many years, long before he ever got into politics. And
more before he knew you. When the stories I could tell you about, we would gross each other out.
And when he was thinking about it, we had a lot of late night conversations about issues, and we would kind of go back and forth and debate. And what's so fascinating is that he was going up against 16 of the top governors and senators in our country.
No, on the Republican side. Again, a subset of a subset of a subset. The ones that can run, want to run, that are Republicans of a certain ilk who are fucking gross. So.
And when he brought the issue to you that he was thinking of running, you're quoted as saying, well, you know, if you run, you're going to win. True story?
True story.
How did you know?
I saw how people react to him.
I also know after years that is the only answer he will like. If you do that, you're going to be best. So I say, be besting. So if you do, I say this about, when he's going into the bathroom, if you take sheet, it will be great sheet. If I say it's not going to be good sheet, then he get mad.
And he's a passion for this country. And we travel all around the world, and he was making speeches at that time, and I saw what the people want, and I think the country was ready for.
Yeah, they wanted Hillary Clinton by a count of 3 million. He won the Electoral College, lady. Simmer.
Change. They wanted to have somebody who was not in politics.
In politics.
All the time, and.
Politics. All right.
I saw it. I saw in him as well that he really wants to do it at that time. He was talking for many, many years, but he really felt 2016 was the right time.
What, if anything, is different?
Well, I think it was because he could run against a woman.
This time around.
I would think that the world, and especially United States, is more divided than ever before.
Yes, yeah, that would be the legacy your husband left when he was president the first time.
We are dealing with much more danger, and especially we see what's going on the world and the threats that we get, and my husband, what he went through in the last few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different, I guess. It's different than just losing last time.
I'm going to get to the issue of the assassination and
attempt.
There are new threats, as you know, and we'll talk about that. Let's talk about the divided country. And you often talk about you want the country united. I like the country united. Some people wouldn't believe it, but I have.
Yeah, it's not that we don't believe it. We just know you're full of shit. There's a difference in, it's not even about belief.
Very strong political beliefs about what the right thing to do is to get the country on the right track. putting politics aside, how do you reconcile those that want open borders and those that want secure borders?
Why are you asking her? Look, it's fine to ask her opinion. Totally fine. But this is the same dude who was like, why are we listening to Michelle Obama? Fuck her.
Those that want high taxes and those that want tax cuts and a free market economy.
Read the book, Sean, okay? He's chapter 7.5, chapter 7 something. I don't remember chapters what happened. But you listen, asshole. Read the chapter on my book on taxes versus high-low and immigration versus yes-no. It's a whole... You don't get... Look, get the book, okay? Get the book. Because I learned a long time ago, you can ask Donald, like, why would they buy the cow if they can get the milk for free?
How do you reconcile those that want to defund and dismantle the police and those that believe in law and order, or those that believe in energy independence and those that don't, or those that believe in peace through strength and those that
believe that a woman should be president?
For example, Kamala Harris doesn't think we should use the words radical Islamic terrorism.
Radical Islamic? Maybe that's because there's an S in there somewhere.
How do you reconcile such differing views in your...
Yeah, how do you reconcile it? Melania, who's selling a book?
...view and be united as you want, like you talk about.
Hey, asshole. Well, one of the best ways to unite the country is to, when you're doing a softball interview with a former president's wife, maybe don't eat up all her fucking time with your sort of blather about your opinions.
I think we need to listen each other.
That's a good idea. Yeah, we need to listen each other and not talk so much, fucking Sean.
I think...
Whose interview is this anyways?
We need to we have different perspectives.
What? Come on. That's not... Look, you learn something new every day, and except today.
We have different beliefs.
Where does she get this stuff?
We need to respect our freedom of speech.
We need to respect our freedom of a speech. So you're saying that ABC shouldn't lose their license because Donald Trump got mad that he was fact-checked?
For our individuality.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's big. I like my individuality. I do. I didn't even know I had an individuality a while back until I got a hand mirror and squatted over it. I don't know if you've ever... Has anybody else looked at theirs? Sorry. Fuck me.
I think it's very...
I'd like to remind everybody that I'm not making fun of people with accents or even technically her accent. I'm just kind of copying how she speaks when I'm doing it. I'm actually mocking the fact that she's an awful person who's a birther just like her asshole husband. Just saying.
Very important that ideas are heard, that we have a very, very straightforward communications.
Okay. So ideas must be heard, and we need very straightforward communications. Like, oh, you mean not like news, opinion news after a certain time of day that's entirely rhetorical, directing the thoughts of people in the country. Not like that. Maybe Reddit?
And we share the idea, we debate, because I think with that we could have innovation.
So Trump should debate Kamala again. Okay, all right, sure, that's good. Hey, look, we broke a piece of news, and we can glue it back together.
And success in this country. I feel it's a troubling trade in this country that we are canceling people that they don't agree on certain issues.
Yeah, Yeah, no, for example, I don't consider someone who thinks the Jews and the Chinese got together to create COVID to kill everybody else. I don't view that as an issue that I disagree with. I consider that a racism and a bigotry. And I think there's a difference there. And also, people aren't getting canceled for having differing opinions. People are getting canceled for selling ivermectin on Twitter during COVID.
I talk to you about, you've been a victim of cancel culture in ways that I never knew about.
Yeah, she was canceled a long time ago. They weren't even going to let her on. She was going to wear a black suit and a white shirt, and they were like, nope.
And I want to get to that, too, in the course of this interview.
Well, get at it.
Politics, though, has gotten pretty rough and tumble.
Yeah. And I wonder who has, I mean, I hope nobody in this vicinity has participated in the vilification of the other side. Right, Sean? Thank God.
And again, having done this for over 3 decades, look at what...
Yeah, and have nothing to show for it except money. Congratulations, Sean. I mean, really. You literally have done nothing good. 3 decades, you're rich as fuck, but you've actually, it's kind of amazing, utterly fucking forgettable. You are on the bullet train to Bill O'Reilly town, dude. The minute this show ends, you're podcasting it with the rest of us. And that's gotta kind of suck. You grow a beard, nobody's gonna fucking know who you are. You're done, son. How's that feel? For real. How's that feel? Because I don't have that problem. That's nice. I'm just saying. I definitely long hair having it right now, especially when it's down, gives me a little room to move. But the minute I open my fucking mouth in any crowded area, people are like, Mr. Davenport, hey, that's Michael. Hey, I love your Talk Soup. Whatever. Like, I have a bunch of shit I can feel good about. And historically, people can watch over and over and over again because it has, kind of worth for its comic base, even if it's retro, like I like watching The Greatest American Hero or something like that. You can go back and watch it again. It's fun. Nobody's going to go back and watch old Hannity's. Right? All right, I'm getting over it, Cheryl.
You and your family have had to go through. I covered the Russia, as the president would say, the Russia hoax, Russia, right? 3 years, it was all based on a lie.
No, it wasn't.
And it was debunked.
No, it wasn't.
I watched...
Like, how many people in his fucking cabinet or in his campaign went to fucking jail over that? 9? He had to fucking pardon a bunch of people.
Him go through not 1, but 2 impeachments.
Yeah. Were they both over Russia, dum-dum? What were they over? Well, the first one was because he tried to withhold congressionally approved arms for an allied country to make them at the effect of Russian aggression. Because, boy, if he'd have been successful, that'd have really teed up the Russian attack. It wasn't. So it's interesting that they had to put a pause on it until about 1.5 years later when Biden took over. Funky, yeah? After Biden took over. Notice that? That they, like, right about that time, he could have cut off those javelins, and he couldn't manage to do it. So Russia had to pause their attack for 1 year to wait for the fighting season to come back around. Odd. And then the second time was over January, fuck you, I think. What was the date exactly?
We'll get to the assassination attempts. He has been through so much, but so have you.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, you have a child with that man. And does the stench ever come out?
And what stunned me is when you actually said that when they first impeached him, oh, I'm surprised it took so long. Wow, you were expecting it all.
Oh, you're surprised it took them so long? Maybe she meant she's surprised it took him so long to actually break a law, like a verifiable, obvious one.
I did, because I saw how they treat him, how the media was against him. I think they are afraid of his strength. And
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. The strength, the strength he uses to like put his hands on women without their permission. You mean that kind of strength?
he was leading this country with peace through strength.
Oh yeah? Tell that to the Kurds.
So as soon he announced...
Oh wait, maybe she's right. She said piss through strength. Her accent throws me off. Peace through strength. Yeah. So his strength is in pissing himself. I get it. Okay.
Announced that he's running for the president, everything really changed. And
right, because he went from being New York's problem to the country's problem. What part? A lot of people don't get. It's like Kavanaugh. Why did these people not come out before Kavanaugh was going to be a Supreme Court justice? Because he was a problem, but he wasn't America's problem. Now that he's going to be a SCOTUS and he's going to make decisions for fucking everybody, you damn straight the quality of the vetting goes up.
I saw it and I said, this will not be...
Gee, you mean the American people tend to take more seriously who our presidents are versus who our shitty reality show, game show hosts are? Really? That we didn't vet him like on for The Apprentice the way we did for the presidency? We didn't take that as seriously? We didn't give a fuck if he could write, or have ghost-written dumbass books and sell them to idiots who actually believe his fucking myth?
Very pleasant, but I knew what he's into it, what he will need to deal with. And as soon he announced a presidency, and then when he won, they start already talking about the impeachment. The opposition newspaper had the front page story.
The opposition newspaper? You do realize you're not in Eastern Europe right now, right? We have an adversarial media in the country, period.
Impeachment is starting. So I always said to him, what is next?
Yes. What is next? What have you fucked up now, Donald?
So it's in one way you're not surprised, and
in another way you kind of are.
Every event that it happened, I'm thinking, what is next?
Yes, oftentimes I feel like when something happens, what is next if I'm not busy dealing with what is happening?
What they are trying to do. And you always fear the worst, and that it happened.
Yes, you always fear the worst, and that it happened.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Wait, sorry. So let me get this straight. I don't want to get too tinfoil hat about this, but is Melania saying that Trump was actually assassinated and replaced with a clone that was actually smellier and an even worse lover than he was? And I mean, because when you're talking about the worst, I mean, it's gotta be that's pretty fucking bad. That's pretty fucking bad. And somebody was like that. Francie says, that was an interview? No, that was not an interview. That was a woman selling a book and Sean Hannity helping. That was a paragraph in a prenup is what that is. That was an agreement with Trump and Hannity that even though Michael Cohen couldn't talk about what he did for them because of attorney-client privilege, the two of them being in the room with each other and admitting that they were in that room would nullify that, and they could say whatever the fuck they wanted about what the other did. And so Trump was like, give her the interview and give her some spot in there. I'm going to tell everybody what you did when you were client number 3. That's what that seems like to me. Not so much an interview, but is the payoff in a blackmail scheme. Chipster visit? I think that's a good idea. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go see if I can dig him up. He's been floundering on the steps lately, so maybe he's around. Hold on one second. Chip was... Where is he? This is Maddie. Hi, Maddie. Chip was way upstairs, so he was hiding someplace. And Maddie's here. This is Maddie. Hi, baby. There she is. Hi. What you doing? I don't... She's like, I don't like this. What's happening? This is Maddie, everybody. Maddie's a pretty girl. Maddie's our supermodel. She's beautiful and dumb. She's not very smart and she falls off of things. But she's super sweet and she has a very weak meow. It's like, there she goes. Hi, sweetie. Yeah. But once you pick her up, she will just kind of drape. She just likes to drape on you. Yeah. Yeah, you're a pretty girl. Yeah, she's just floppy. It's so sweet. She's our floppiest cat. Yeah. What's going on? Maddie. Such a sweet girl. If you pick her up for very long, if she doesn't come up and rub up against you, she's like, I'm going to the vet, aren't I? She has this kind of like, oh boy. Hi. Yeah. What you doing, sweetheart? What's a sweet girl? There she is. Yeah. She's a sweetie. Look at this. Look at the girl. Yeah, she's a hugger. Very sweet. She's also the one that steps on my balls every morning. When I go down and Chip wakes me up at 5:30 in the morning, and I feed Chip, and then I come up afterwards, and I'm clearly awake. She hops up on the bed for pets, and needs to walk right across me, and if I'm laying on my side or my stomach or something, she starts going, like she's like, dude, turn over, and I, like an asshole, I turn over, don't I? Yeah, you're a sweet girl. And yeah, I'm telling the story. Yeah, you're embarrassed because I'm telling this story. And right? And then she's like, okay, now you're on your belly, and bonk, she'll just walk right across me, and she's a great ball stepper. Look at this sweet girl. She tucks her nose. Look at this. She's so sweet. She knows I'm talking to somebody too. That's the other part. Like if you talk on the phone or a FaceTime, she's like, she's very shy. Okay, I'll let you go. You can run back upstairs if you want to. There you go, sweetheart. Oh, you got it. And that's cat time. Thank you very much. You're watching House Parks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, share the show. And seriously, subscribe. What the hell? Like 80% of the people who watch the show aren't subscribed. It's not like it costs anything on YouTube, folks. It's free. You don't have to be a member and all that kind of stuff. Good Lord. Subscribe. I'm just telling you. And share my clips out if you would. And if you can't share the clips out because that's not how your Facebook works or whatever, just leave a comment in one of them. That also helps. Just saying. But yeah. What else can I ask for? Nothing. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you gave me your time. And that applies to our maggots and trolls as well. I'm sorry your life sucks right now, but it's just FAFO. You're having a FAFO moment, and there's not much you can do about it. Look, think about it this way. It could be worse. It could be the kidney.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
So, but luckily it isn't. And, so count your blessings.